All right. We're gonna attempt to beat Mario Sunshine in less than 6 hours. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I remember Sunshine less than I do Galaxy or Galaxy 2, obviously. So I remember Sunshine less than all the 3D Marios, except maybe 3D Land. And I would say Sunshine's the hardest 3D Mario game. The minimum required to beat it isn't really that bad. You have to do every episode, though, of the 7 main worlds, which is a lot different than like 64 and Galaxy, where you have to go. You could skip around and whatnot. So without the ability to really skip around, I could get frustrated real quick. But it only takes 50 shines to get to Bowser. And that's really what we're doing. We're not really worried about the blue coin search or any of that bullshit. So.
Brought to you by Apple Card. This summer, earn daily cash back with Apple Card.
Come here, Doodles.
For Apple Card now, use it minutes.
Doodles.
Okay, subject to credit approval. Apple Card issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Foodies, unite! This is Angie Martinez from IRL Podcast, here to tell you about something.
Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out Coke Hour Podcast. All of our NFL instant reactions and more football content. John and I thought we'd go back and forth on this. We would each have 5 bold predictions. Now we're not putting the Browns in the AFC Championship. Let's not go crazy here. Even though I think Cleveland's going to be viable and interesting, at this point I don't even have them as a playoff team. And I think the second spot in that division is arguably wide open. But we're going to go 5 predictions, 5 bold predictions. You ready to go, John? Ready. All right, number 1.
I think we're good.
Quarterback is better without A.J. Brown. If you go back to last season, when he didn't target A.J. Brown, he completed 71% of his throws, 18 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Over the last 2, targeted A.J. Brown. When A.J. Brown had 8 or more targets, the Eagles were 9-6. But he wasn't the focus of the game plan. And he had fewer than 7 or fewer targets. Last 2 years, 13-0. This is Dez Bryant and Dak. Jalen Hurts will flourish despite losing a great number 1 receiver.
I know he's currently on the Raiders after getting traded this offseason. But I think the Raiders are in a position with the young quarterback to kind of do what Jimmy Johnson and a lot of teams have done historically, is trade a veteran player whose timeline is off for their young quarterback.
Yo, what's up, man?
Nothing much. I'm about to get on Mario Sunshine myself. I figured out it was coming out today.
Oh, yeah. Hey, does this still look good on stream, by the way?
Yeah, it was looking good.
Well, no, I mean, does it look good now that you're in the chat? It's not all wonky, is it?
It usually just shows the same way as it does on the Switch.
Okay, so you can see the sunshot, all the what's going on with the gameplay and stuff.
And so, yeah, it's just like a square screen like the TVs back in the day.
Okay. But yeah, you could definitely see it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's both play it. Let's see how far we both get.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna get that far because I suck at these games.
Well, there are certain things that make Sunshine, I believe, the hardest of the 3D Mario games.
Like the blue coins and stuff.
Well, okay, for completion, 100% completion, it's definitely the hardest. Now, if you're just talking base game, I argue it's the hardest also, because you have to do every single episode in order. Like there's seven worlds, and there's 7 episodes per world, and you can't skip anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're stuck on something that you're just stuck, you're fucking stuck in that world. If you have to complete 7 episodes of the 7 worlds, and you also
So there's 49 total.
50 if you get this opening shine sprite here, but you need 50 minimum to go face Bowser.
Uh-huh.
Oh god, the camera sucks.
The camera isn't as bad as 64, I don't think.
No.
The next game should be Mario Kart.
Yeah, see, as much as I like Sunshine, and I am happy it's finally on the NSO, out of the games we've mentioned, whether it was Sunshine, there was Twilight Princess, there was Mario Kart Double Dash, Melee, Metroid Prime 2. Out of all those games that we mentioned, actually Metroid Prime 1 and 2 are missing from here, aren't they? But out of all those games we mentioned, this was my least favorite of the top 7.
We need to get at least Metroid Prime 2 because Metroid Prime Remastered exists.
Right, but I still think they should put out both.
Yeah. I can barely hear the game because of this chat.
You can adjust what my game or your game? Are you playing already?
My game.
You can go to the settings and adjust that. I think. But yeah, I saw this was available, and I thought, well, I could detour from Black Flag for a day, you know?
Yeah. I heard Tokon sucks on PC.
Yeah, it's got an issue.
Tokon Souls is fully bad on PC. People are getting refunds left and right. Did you hear about that guy who spent 470 hours on Battlefield 6 and got a refund on Steam?
On what?
Battlefield 6. He spent
Wow.
470 hours and got the refund because they took out key modes they were playing.
You know, everybody talks about, oh, we need to bring the water pack back or Mario Sunshine 2. No, I'm good.
Yeah, we can keep that shit.
Yeah, they can
What am I even supposed to be doing here? I don't remember.
Well, you gotta once you get the jetpack, you gotta spray the.
I don't even see the fucking jetpack.
I say you walk towards the end is what it is.
I never got past the first level of this game.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I played like the beginning of the first level and I died too many times to that. to the ink, and I was like, fuck this game.
So you're actually in the camp of Sunshine sucks.
No, I don't think it sucks. I just didn't understand what I was doing.
Well, it's definitely not. I'll put it this way: it's definitely not a top 10 Mario game. It's definitely not.
It's definitely the worst 3D Mario game.
Yeah, I would say so too. Because I would say I had more fun with 3D
What's
Land.
the worst 3D Mario game?
Mario Sunshine.
Why?
Because it's not that good. Where is this fucking jetpack?
In fact, well, it should be at the end of the dock. Like you go past the goop.
Yeah, yes you can. Go past the dock.
Yeah, it's just if you keep walking, you'll
Oh,
see
I found it.
Yeah. There are a few things I like about Mario Sunshine. So, like, I like the setting. The Isle Delfino, I think it's interesting. I think that some of the voice acting is interesting.
There was no voice acting in 64, right?
No. Except not really. It was mostly music and grunts and growls.
Do you think Ocarina of Time remake can get voice acting?
I think it's going to, yeah. Like it already did the teaser.
The original one didn't have voice acting, did it?
Yeah, I think that's what it's just like with I think the Ocarina of Time stuff is going to be just like what we've seen from stuff like Star Fox, where it was, hey, we added cutscenes, we added some stuff like that, but the game's the same freaking game.
Yeah.
Like
that's there's new levels like Halo did.
Well, Halo, see, this is why I give Halo a lot of credit. Halo actually added levels, but it took away multiplayer. That's all something to consider. It took away something. Yeah. And to be honest, would you rather have the prequel levels or would you rather have multiplayer?
I'd rather have both.
But if you had to pick one.
Multiplayer.
Exactly. So the prequel levels, as cool as they were, they don't make up for loss of multiplayer. We would have played the multiplayer longer than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Now, Black Flag took away stuff also. Black Flag took away the Out of the Endless stuff. And you know what? I actually like that. I actually think it makes the game better to just avoid that shit and just be Kenway the whole time. Now, when Rayman does its remaster or whatever, it's going to actually just add levels. I don't think it's taking anything away.
Yeah, so it's going to add levels too.
Yeah, which we've been in sore need of a platformer, especially a 2D platformer has played, so I'll take it.
What button is spray the thing?
The trigger, I believe.
Oh, you have to fly over the fucking thing to do it?
No, you could shoot it. You could change your aim. Remember the X button or the X button changes if you're hovering or if you're doing a sprayer.
I was wondering why I was doing that. I don't understand why the thing is aiming up. It isn't aiming up towards the plant.
You control it by if you're holding the button down, then your left stick will move it up and down, not your right stick.
Okay.
That to me is one of the most egregious things about this game, is that when you're in the fixed position, you got to use the left stick instead of the right stick for moving the damn thing up and down.
These controls are weird.
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about a little bit. Now, I remember beating this game and playing this game when it came out on the 3D All Stars pack. The Switch version of this, the 3D All Stars version of this game, is better. It looks better too, obviously, because it's enhanced graphically.
You just gotta aim the water at the guy?
Yeah,
That's not doing shit for me.
try to aim it in his mouth.
I'm trying to, but it's not working. They don't even let me aim up.
Use the left stick.
That's what I'm using.
Down is up is down, maybe? Maybe it's inverted and I didn't even realize it because I'm so used to it that way. Was it inverted?
Nope.
All right, it'd be easier if you shared screen. I could see what you're doing. Now, where the fuck did he go?
I'm sharing screen.
Okay. God, it's fucking hard to see. All right. Well, you're spraying all over the place. Hold. Okay, so if to hold in place, you just hold the trigger, and then when you hold the trigger, can you see my screen?
There we go, I got it.
Okay.
It was ZR, not R.
Oh, I said the trigger.
Yeah, I was doing R.
Oh,
Says,
yeah.
On the tutorial, it says you gotta press R to do it.
Yeah, but if you want to stay in place, you have to do the other button. Now, where the fuck did fucking fuckface go? There's no way I'm beating this game in less than 6 hours.
Fuck no. I might actually try to beat this game though.
First, I gotta find where the fucker went.
There we go, he's dead. Thanks.
Oh, there he
Are
is.
you still at the beginning?
Yeah. So if you're wanting to run and move while you spray the dude, like for instance, I'm going and playing against. I'm chasing down the paint Mario, right? So if you're wanting to spray and move, like in a direct line, you're hitting that R button. But if you're wanting to stay in place and move the angle of your spray, then you're going to want the ZR and use the left stick.
Underneath your treadmill.
Yeah. He got out.
Fuck.
Yeah. My dog got stuck underneath the treadmill. I had to get her out.
That's horrible.
My sister's dog, I mean. She's a little ass dog and she can't get out from underneath that treadmill.
This camera is pissing me off.
I wish I could skip the cutscenes.
Are they unskippable?
Yeah, yes they are.
I'm going into the first world now.
I'm going into this, whatever this area is. There's this black thing on the star. It says Wanted Mario.
Bianco Hills.
I hate unfigurable cutscenes.
If I wanted to milk this shit out, I'd be like every world do a stream and have like 7 fucking streams this game.
Yeah.
But I don't want to knock this shit out, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'll put it this way, this is the only time I'm streaming this game. Whether I beat it or not. I've beaten this game. You know what? I have the right to do so because, to be honest, I've beaten this game at least 3 times in my life.
Well, gee, what's the topic going on with this? Just playing the same cutscene over and over again. Do I have to race Shadow Mario to top?
You what?
Do I have to race Shadow Mario to top or something?
You gotta. Well, once you beat him, then you're gonna chase the one dude down.
Oh.
I need fucking coins. I'm dying. It's kind of insane how this game starts because you got to shoot a goop plant, and then your first level in this game, guess what you do? You shoot a goop plant. So you go goop plant, goop plant, goop plant. Come on, fucker. There. So with this goop plant that's in Bianca Hill, well, you're a little early before you get to that. With the goop plant that's in Bianca Hills, you have to wait for him to open his mouth, and you got 3 different times you can spray.
You gotta wait for the other ones to open in the mouth too.
Yeah, but they don't. They usually leave their mouths open longer. This one's a little more of an asshole.
Yeah.
All right, there's Shine Sprite number 2. Yeah, this is the only Mario game I've never 100%ed on. This is the only 3D Mario game I've never 100%ed. I think when I beat it back in the GameCube era, I did it with 83 Shine Sprites.
How many Shine Sprites are in the game?
120. You only need 50 to which is actually 20 less than Super Mario 64 and 10 less than Galaxy to get to Bowser. But again, you have no ability to skip. So there are certain stars you may not like.
Yeah, fuck this game.
Are you already done?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Are you fucking kidding me? Wow, that's crazy.
I don't like that shit. Yes, long.
You're already done with it. You're like, fuck this. So I guess Nintendo could have kept this away from NSO, huh? Are you gonna play anything now? Would you rather play this or Super Mario 64?
Right, right.
I'm getting ready to face Petey the Piranha Plant.
I like the Pokemon game that's on NSO.
You gonna play that?
Eventually, I'm waiting for Coliseum to come before I play that one.
I just realized I'm almost out of water as I get up here.
I'm probably gonna get off.
You're gonna get off the Switch.
Yeah,
Are you still gonna check into the stream or watch the stream?
yeah, I will.
All right, cool, man.
Bye.
See ya. Get a bigger screen here.
Ends up on the Browns, the Bears in the middle of the season. Ryan Poles already admitted they weren't interested in him in the first place. Their pass rush was, I think, bottom seventh in the league in sacks, so they are not a great pass rush team. The other thing is Cody Bryant already injured. I think the Bears get very aggressive. Ben Johnson wants to win. Thanks, Crosby, the Bears.
All right, this may not seem bold, but because this is probably the most criticized franchise that's good in the league, I have Justin Herbert winning multiple playoff games. Okay, the last 2 years in the playoffs, he might have been 30th offensive line in the 21st. This appears to be the first offensive line. Remember, he has been hit, sacked, and rushed more than any quarterback in the sport since he entered the league in 2020. They have 3 new features, both tackles back. This will be his best offensive line and, in my opinion, his best offensive coordinator. This message brought to you by Apple Card. Shake Ice, Apple State Fair. Throwback, look at the local drive-in. There are more than just items to check off this summer bucket list. Generates to earn 10% start now. Okay, some people are going to go for it. Let's make USA Salt Lake City. 2 playoff wins, and I right now this morning think they could be a cold favorite to get to the AFC Championship.
I got the Niners winning the NFC West.
Wow!
And I know we think the Rams are the 27 Yankees. Seattle's just gonna cruise the back-to-back championships. Football doesn't work like that. It never has. This is not baseball. You don't just plug and play players. Things can get weird. Obviously, Stafford's injury history is a thing of concern. Mike McDonald keeping these guys motivated. Kubiak was a huge reason for Seattle's success. He's now gone. They replaced him with the first-time play caller. They were 7-2 last year with Purdy starts. Here's the other thing. You know who the 49ers beat a lot? The Rams. Kyle Shanahan's record against Sean McVay speaks for itself. Oh yeah, Seattle that won 14 games. And the last 3, one of those losses came in Seattle against the 49ers. So it's not like the 49ers are intimidated, but Fred Warner coming back, Christian McCaffrey, another season healthy, Nick Bosa, Mike Williams, they got defensive reinforcements, so I got the 49ers.
My third bold prediction: Packers finish last in the NFC North. First of all, Ben Johnson year 2. Kyler Murray, I think, is going to be ahead. And Detroit, to me, easily has the best entire roster. This is not the same NFC North the Packers dominated. All 4 teams had winning records last year. And the Packers were out Micah last year, 0-5, and allowed 29 points a game. He's not going to be playing, we presume, until October. Packers, maybe the best placed team in the NFL by a long shot. They finish last.
Well, I got a team finishing first, and they're the Cincinnati Bengals. I got them as the number 1 seed in the AFC. I know everyone thinks Mike Brown and the front office and everything about this franchise is a disaster, and they cheat specifically. I've seen them invest in multiple wide receivers paying premium. I saw this offseason they had the 10th pick. What did they do? They went and traded for an all-pro. Just a 380-pound man that can't be moved to solidify their defensive line. Fair. We saw a couple years, Joe Burrow in his basement the entire season last year with Turpin. The year before, after the slow start, there was not a hotter team. Toward the end of the year that went 9-8, they just missed the playoffs by game. They were killing everybody down the stretch. So if he can stay healthy, their defense is dramatically improved. Everyone acts like their coach stinks. He's got 5 playoff wins in his career. I'm telling you, Joe Burrow's healthy. The third easiest schedule in the NFL. And the division, John Harbaugh's gone, Tomlin's gone, 42-year-old quarterback, a bunch of new players. The Browns stink. I like the Bengals for big time this year.
It's not like that. Okay, Denver Broncos, and you know I love Sean Payton, miss the playoffs. Listen, NFL best 11-2 in one-score games. I mean, that's not going to happen again. They also trailed in 15 games. Bo Nix is coming off 2 surgeries on his right ankle. They have a new play caller. And remember, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Chargers are all going to be better in the AFC. I think that we all know that if Burrow's upright, Cincinnati's going to be a better team. I mean, Herbert's got his best offensive line and his best offensive coordinator. You can't go 11-2 in one-score games and not run the rest. I think Denver's good. I think they have a special coach and special players. I think they're going to narrowly miss the playoffs.
This one, I watched this team for a long time, won a lot of games, and last year, Vrabel resurrected them. They went to the Super Bowl. But I got the Patriots missing the playoffs. If you remember back in 2001, Tom Brady, Belichick, they won the Super Bowl. You know what happened the next year? They missed the playoffs. Last year, historically easy season. I mean, every single week they were playing a god-awful opponent. And then the way the playoffs broke, that crazy snowstorm came into the AFC Championship game against the backup quarterback. Drake May was running for his life. He was getting sacked every play in these playoffs. So a lot of question marks on the offensive line. Some tabloid stuff off the field with Vrabel. A.J. Brown, it's not like he was thriving last year. Not even just the drop off the field. He was dropping balls on the field. Kind of a weather 28, 29-year-old wide receiver. I just think the AFC is going to be difficult to schedule. is way more difficult. You go 9-8, miss the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to be a disaster, but I think it's your classic. You lose the Super Bowl, next year you miss.
Yeah, that hangover's real. Finally, for me, Caleb Williams wins MVP. First of all, he's got currently the 7th best odds. Second year in Ben Johnson's offense. Go look at Jared Goff's second year in Ben Johnson's offense, and he's not nearly the athlete Jared Goff popped in year 2. He literally has the lowest interception percentage in league history. 13 and 34 career starts, and this is the beginning of probably 3 fewer, I think. He's a veteran quarterback, second in the NFL at big plays. He also has tremendous offensive weapons. A lot of
Fucker!
drafted eggs.
Fuck off!
They've got 3 receivers I like. They've got 2 running backs. I worry a little bit about left tackle, but Caleb also has the ability, as you're watching, he doesn't just make plays, he makes spectacular plays. A little bit of a Westbrook quality when he won MVP. It'll be easy to root for a guy who's not a stat pattern, who's in a great division. He's winning close games. He's winning them with dramatic plays late. That's the kind of story the media likes. Caleb Williams, MVP.
I also have an NFC quarterback winning the MVP, but his name is Dakota Prescott. And I think it sounds a lot crazier than it is. I mean, over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, he has clearly been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The problem is, to win the MVP, your team has to be good. Right? Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers, all these guys, they've won MVPs typically have a 1 or 2 seed in their conference. So I think the Cowboys are going to be good this year. I am picking them to win the East. If they win the East, I think Dak Prescott's putting up huge numbers. He has one of, if not the best, 1-2 combination of wide receivers. Tight ends good. His offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer's proven to be pretty dynamic. To me, his numbers are going to, they speak for themselves over the course of the 2020s. If the defense is good, I think he's right up there in the mix. If they're the 1 or 2 seed, I think Dak wins the MVP.
You know what's really interesting, John, thinking about this? It was last year, actually, a little bit down here. Mahomes got hurt, Burrow got hurt. Buffalo had a coach on the hot seat. Dallas had a new coach, and they made like a trade, so it deteriorated their very mediocre defense. I can make an argument the Chargers were noticeably better. The Bengals were absolutely better. I actually think New England will be better, but to your point, we'll have a worse record. In the NFC, Detroit finds the right OC, they'll be better. If Brock Purdy's upright, San Francisco's record will be solid. I think it's really interesting. Chicago should be better again because second year. Last year was a weird year where we all acknowledged New England really wasn't a top 4 or 5 team if they got to a Super Bowl. I think the fight is going to be mighty. Here are NFL predictions of note. The Packers finishing last sounds dramatic, but if Kyler Murray is as good as one time he had a Pro Bowl offensive line, but he had a passer rating over 100. Also, he's not making any money, so he's playing for a contract. Is there one of mine that you actually think you agree with?
I definitely think Caleb Williams, the MVP is a momentum award. Right? And Josh Allen, a couple years ago, had a lot of momentum for that award. And I think Caleb, and that's why I like Dak or Caleb. I mean, if either one of those teams wins 12 plus games, I think there's going to be a lot of momentum for those 2 players. But I think the Broncos roster, I think their roster is a top 3 or 4 roster in the NFL. It would basically just have to be some injuries, some weird things going on, like Deshaun Payton, the play calling. He's claimed, I read an article recently, that happened to him way back in the day, I think with Jim Fossil, when he was a young coach. He claimed that best not an option here. So even if things are rocky, this guy's got the play calling. It's one thing to say it, and it's to live it. So the Broncos won. I almost put the Jets making the playoffs, but I felt they were a little bit of there's got to be something that crazy happens in the NFL this year, right? I mean,
I'll tell you, if the Niners win the NFC West, that's actually crazier than that's a big swing.
They won 12 games last year. I mean, they beat the Eagles.
I know, in Philly. And that's really, you took some swing. Well, I'll tell you, when you look at the Bengals defensive front, I was doing it last night, as I often do. Because I have no social life. I was looking at the depth chart for the Cincinnati Bengals. Their team line now is a thing. Like, it's big. It'll be much tougher because they've run the ball the last several years, which meant you took the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands. You could dominate time of possession. You're not going to do that to the Bengals this year. That D line is stout on the interior. All right, the Lakers have a new owner. So made calls yesterday. Here's what I found out about Bob Iger, mid-70s, chairman forever, running Disney. Is that the NBA and Adam Silver, starting Sunday, had to find a new owner for the Lakers. And things ramped up very quickly. Bob Iger was very, very well paid, very well compensated at Disney. Not $12.5 billion by an NBA team compensated. He and Kushner were the leaders in the clubhouse for the expansion Las Vegas franchise. That was $7.5 billion. This is $12.5 billion. That's out of Iger's range. This is like going from buying the Rays in Tampa to buying the Yankees. It is a whole different ballpark, even for rich guys. But here's the key to it. The Lakers matter to the NBA. And Adam Silver doesn't want them tossed around and flipped like a 1993 Honda Civic. So he had to get somebody who understands television, who's negotiated for the league, understands the sport. I mean, Iger was always kind of known as a Clipper fan more than a Laker fan. But Kushner money, very much tied to Trump. At least in the NBA, Trump is not beloved. Kids always use the word sketch. There's a little bit of that, or maybe a lot, depending on your perspective on Kushner money, from the top down of the family. And Bob Iger is perfect. And a lot of times you'll see these tequila brands. You'll see a movie star put some money down for a tequila brand, but he's really there to market and sell it. A lot of other people are making the agave. Okay, and that's not really what Iger is doing. Iger is the face of Laker ownership. Because it's one thing to own an expansion team. Most of you can't name 50% of the owners in this league, but everybody knows who owns the Yankees, or the Dodgers, or the Cubs, or the Eagles, or the 49ers, or the Cowboys. That's what you have here. And Iger is a great front man. He's put money down, don't get me wrong. He's put a lot of money down, but Kushner's a big money. This is a massive brand for the NBA, and again, Bob Iger's made a lot of money. He's a very smart guy. But he'll be the face of Laker ownership. So the league got into a very rough spot. Darren Ravel yesterday on the shocking sale, basically 14 months after Kart purchased it, he flipped.
Boys, unite! This is Angie Martinez from Ira Podcast. Here to tell you about something new and delicious from McDonald's. So they just released an all-season sauce and it's a creamy blend of French Parmesan, sexy limited, floral flavors. The sauce on the chicken Caesar snack wrap, or the crispy strips, delicious. By the way, the crispy strips are even crispier now. And for a drink, I'll probably have a nice cool Sprite to go along with that perfectly, and I will be a happy girl. Don't take my word for it. Try it out for yourself for a limited time while supplies last at participating McDonald's.
Just a couple weeks ago, Baker and Iger were lining up for Vegas and sniffing around. And to me, this at least appears to look like the NBA being Adam Silver pulling the marionette going like this. And obviously, with the pressure of the media, the pressure of Walter, certainly the NBA makes more Major League Baseball does. Yeah, Adam Silver badly needed Bob Iger to be part of this ownership group. They can find other nondescript, not well-publicized people to invest. Iger is the canvas. I gotta mention this for Russell Westbrook. 18 years in the NBA, 9 times All-NBA. Well, the NBA is scoring at 11 times and assist record, 5 most triple doubles in ever league history. Russell Westbrook, he was a classic all gas, no brakes. He feels a little bit to me like the action star in Hollywood, you're not getting a lot of nuance and subtlety. Nobody thinks Vin Diesel, Adam Fokker, Jeremy Irons, or Russell Crowe, or John Malkovich, or Christian Bale. We know what they are. Highly productive. Give you everything they got. Again, not a lot of subtlety, not a lot of nuance. But Westbrook is not only an action star, he wanted to do his own stunts. He never cheated the fans. He never cheated himself. They were talking about the PlayStation controversy because clearly a lot of the big Sony defenders and it feels like Sony themselves is cleaning up a very big and honestly a very stupid new one. They're trying to claim that digital games are expensive because of physical games. The old digital future is great because once there aren't all these pesky discs, suddenly games are going to get a lot cheaper. Now, their logic behind this argument is that for every game they sell for $70, about $15 of cost just goes to that sell. Like the cost of printing this disc, making a box, shipping it to Walmart, some dude shelving it and selling it. This $70 game makes them $55 of profit. So the big argument that keeps being kicked around is, oh, if it gives them $55, then digitally they'll just charge you $55. Now this is obviously a lie. It's a flat out stupid lie. And today I want to break it down. I'm going to take a look at the responses to this because a lot of people really are treated for enjoying this rather insane concept that suddenly, just out of the good of their heart, companies will charge less that they'll just choose to screw you up and soft. Let's get into it. I'm super having great day. You could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's start with this new lawsuit that's really been cooking up here, especially the last couple of weeks. So currently, there is a big lawsuit currently going on against what they're calling the Sony tax. If you actually compare the price of digital games versus physical games are dramatically cheaper. The second-hand market competes to be the lowest possible. Any game you're trying to buy, a lot of times it's way cheaper, especially the fact you can't get it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or buy some guy named Daryl for his truck down the street, right? There is a competition for the most affordable product, so it sells. Whereas in a digital marketplace, they can charge whatever, whenever, forever. And this has basically led to a 47% increase in cost. 47% more expensive than physical copies for every single PlayStation game. And basically, they're trying to say this is a PlayStation monopoly. The fact that there isn't any other storefront, any ability of digital ownership. I can return my games, trade my games, sell my games. It's basically people trying to say you need to find some way to add value or ownership to the library, or else it's literally illegal now. Let's get into this absolutely ignorant lie I keep seeing from a lot of the big PlayStation fans, including this guy here, CEO, Emmy nominated award winner, this dude OS, Square Enix Holdings, yeah, fantastic buddy. Digital on the PlayStation Store will likely get cheaper. I've explained this several times. Current prices are tied to retail. Without physical discs holding the digital hostage, we'll see a larger spectrum of pricing similar to Steam. Now this is a deeply stupid concept. You know what? They could kick around this idea for over a decade. Now, all the way back in the PlayStation 4, people are talking about why don't we get more tiers of experience, more $10 games, more $40 games, or more AA that isn't trying to be AAA. And he's right. You do see this on Steam. The amount of games I'm currently playing, like what are they called, machine port. There are a lot of great games that are $5, that are very fun for $5. They're short, they're sweet, they usually have good graphics, they're usually made by like 3 friends. That stuff does exist on Steam, and it just doesn't exist at all when it comes to the PlayStation console. And I guess his excuse is, oh, well, if they have to sell it, oh, they're stuck, they have to obey the MSRP, the manufacturer's suggested retail price. They don't want to do it, they have to do it. Oh, shucks, they have to scam you. One more time, everyone will be negatively impacted. We let Sony embrace physical media, not just physical buyers. Digital will get more expensive as well. Now, immediately, everybody is calling this guy stupid. The exact right companies that look to achieve their monopoly. Courts have not found the Sony Store to be a legal definition of monopoly. This is the dumbest take I've ever seen Earth was round, you would have said the same. Oh, God, I'm sorry, I can't read this guy's tweets anymore. It's going to make me freaking want to delete my character. We're just out here lying now. And what's funny about this is that there are a lot of people comparing this to anything that the Switch 2 is doing, right? Basically, what they're saying is that if you want to make stuff cheaper, they already cut right here. Right now, the Nintendo Switch 2 is rolled out the new initiative, where if you want to game digitally, it's cheaper. It's $10 cheaper. Now, I still have my own price, which is intro to that. Their games stay expensive forever. A copy of Breath of the Wild, which is like 10 years old, still low price. But recently, I bought a physical edition of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I'm obsessed with Xenoblade Chronicles 1 specific. This cost me $60 if I bought it digitally, maybe $50. Essentially, what they're trying to say is that I don't have to wait for this to be a problem. They can do it right now. There's no incentive to lower it, and they just choose not to. And again, there's this, right? GTA 6 does not have a physical edition, and they're charging $80 for the basic version. Game companies are never going to reduce prices ever, and they're still going to find new ways to monetize everything. The people that are trying to claim, oh, they're just stuck. They have to do this. Oh, they have no other option than to absolutely rip you off. Not a chance. You people are deluded. They want to kill the second-hand market who has no other option but to buy from them. And then suddenly, those deep discounts just disappear because they no longer have to compete more with brick and mortar. Lie to yourself. Look at this. For 1,000 lives. Look at that. Who is they? Sony other video game corporations, they're all treated as when Sony is the first to do this after Rockstar Games opened those floodgates. That's the thing, right? I think that right now these companies are thrilled about the ultimate future because now there is no competition. If I want to charge $40, $80, $90, $200 for a game, they can just do that. If you don't think they're going to make $200 digital deluxe editions with extra storylines and career bonuses, they're going to do it. I mean, right now, call it on the clock. Right now, I'm saying this right before freaking September starts. There's going to be $200 digital deluxe editions once the freaking physical medium is gone. Literally, everything we've seen in the market historically proves this to be false. The level of gaslighting should be downright illegal. These people are literally lying. This guy is literally probably being paid to lie. You know, I'm just speculating here, but a lot of these people making these kind of statements, there is no way you can sit down, look at the map, look at the history, and think, man, if there wasn't all these pesky discs, games would suddenly get a lot cheaper. How many great indie games right now are even under $10? Not on sale. How many great games are under $10 already on PlayStation? Almost none. And that's by design. That is by the PlayStation design. They wouldn't even
The fuck, dude?
ever to milk you.
The fuck is this guy?
Pay for online, pay for the free games they get, pay for retro games, put everything behind a subscription model, and then when you do choose to buy something like a free game, oh, sorry, you're going to buy this to pay us $100 a pop. You know, I saw this today, and it really hit a note. It was this guy saying, I'm starting to lose interest in gaming. I have no interest in turning my PlayStation 5, just still lethargic with your other consoles. And it's just the fact that gamers are continuing to feel so utterly screwed over in a way that we haven't been in the past. I've been gaming since the 80s, and you know what? There's been good generations and bad generations. I'm not going to pretend it's all been smoke and flowers, but
Where the fuck is this dude?
Renaissance and explosion, the rise of indies, the earliest Xbox arcade, the first those awesome early lobbies of Call of Duty. There was so many different crazy eras of gaming. Whereas now, it does feel like we're just at this point where all that exists is profitability. All that matters is, hey, how can we build people? And you know what that's causing? It's apathy. People are burning out. People are permanently burning out. When people stop arguing, stop caring, stop getting...
Where is that?
...on the console, that's when you have a much bigger problem. Anger means they want to fight something. Apathy means they've started to imagine life without you. I really do think we're starting to hit actual apathy. I do think we're starting to hit a layer of disconnectedness. A lot of people right now that I've talked to are just going back to the past. They're playing new games, they're playing emulated stuff, they're playing old PlayStation 2 stuff in 4K. Even if there's a remastered version or an upgraded version or a newer version of it, they'd rather play the old game with a real controller the way they want forever. At this point, people don't care about these companies. They care about the games. They care about the experiences. Plus, how do you feel about the future of PlayStation? How do you feel?
Uh, I gotta get up there.
Will be the top two teams in every NFL division. Welcome, football fans. It's Mitch here back with another NFL reaction video. In this video, I'm reacting again to the legendary, the controversial Colin Cowherd. Colin today is bringing his top two teams, his predictions for every NFL division and the top two teams in every division. So if that sounds good and you're ready for me to critique and call Colin crazy, then slide the like button, don't be a jabroni, and subscribe for my own NFL predictions and a lot more NFL reactions. Just like this, and let me know in the comments, guys, your opinion on Colin's predictions for the top two teams in every NFL division, from the AFC to the NFC. We're going to break it down, and I'm going to let you know if Colin is correct or yes, he's probably crazy. Let's find out. Let's go. And if you want to let me know your predictions, of course, let me know in the comment section below.
Oh, fucker.
Predictions, at least the early record predictions. Not the final, but the early are coming very soon. I'm actually going away here in a minute.
There he
a couple
is.
days from now, I'm going away.
Which one do a safe harbor where individual customizes your car insurance? That's great, but can you ask your friend to stop digging into the grave?
I can ask him. What is that called? Only pay. I'm coaching my lacrosse team in the national.
The fuck is this shit?
So I'm going to be recording 3 different videos tomorrow so I can have some content for you guys. Some really good videos. And one of them is going to be record predictions. So make sure to check out those videos.
Come on, fucker, get him.
See an NFL season mode
Oh,
for the rest of the summer, and I'm really pumped to give you some great content. So make sure to subscribe. And of course, guys,
Fuck!
like the video. It does really help the channel. Okay, let's get to Colin's thoughts here and his top two teams.
No fucking way!
I don't know why he did
Dude!
that. But okay, anyways, I am going to give you first and second place.
Fuck this fuck.
I'm not giving the third or the fourth. I'm not going to try to judge how bad teams are going to finish. Now, this is 16 total teams, and only 14 make the playoffs. So a couple of these teams in second will not, my prediction, be playoff teams. Cincinnati or Indy. I give you a heads up for playoff teams. Now, let's not waste any time. Fire it up. Let's start with the AFC East. I think, did he just say Indy and Cincinnati are going to be second place? Basically spoiling the video already. We'll talk about it when we get there. I disagree with both of those teams for different reasons. We'll get to it, but let's start with the AFC East. We have the Bills first, Patriots second. Let's hear it, Colin. I think this is one of the easier calls because the Dolphins and Jets are a mess in rebuilding. The Bills are Lord's favorite. They won the division 5 out of the 6 years, not last year. I believe their defense, they have drafted more defensive players, Brandon Beane has, than any team in the NFL the last 2 years. They're young. You don't know a lot of them, but I think their defense is noticeably better this year, younger and more athletic. I have the Patriots finishing in second place. Their schedule is harder. But again, the Dolphins, Jets in a rebuild. I think they have strengthened their offensive line. And Trey May just keeps getting better every month. And now he's got a number one in A.J. Brown. Buffalo wins it. Patriots second place. Okay, I don't hate the prediction. I kind of hate the breakdown and the reasoning. First of all, the Buffalo Bills defense is the reason you're going to take the Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott is gone, and Sean McDermott, whether you love him or you hate him, has been one of the best defensive coordinators, at least in the regular season, year after year after year, for a long, long time. You can even go back to his days in Carolina with the Panthers in 2013, 2014, 2015, right? So part of it might be coaching. Could that change in scheme help them? It might actually hurt them because McDermott's no longer there to bail out a lack of talent, in my opinion, that they've really not had for a number of years. I mean, this defense has lacked a superstar front seven player for a long time. And in the secondary, they've only really ever had a couple, like a high developed into one for them, in my opinion, and then, of course, Tre'Davious White. But they don't have really superstar caliber players on defense. Ed Oliver is a very good player. Gregory Rousseau is a very good player.
I missed
Is
something
Bradley
here.
Chubb still very good? Probably not. I think he's serviceably a starter, but I don't think he's great. And yes, they have.
I hit him flush in the fucking
over
head.
the last couple of years, but none of them have really proven to be exceptional yet. So we will see. Like, I don't love their linebackers. I do really like the pickup of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think that brings some feistiness and intensity to their defense that they desperately needed. I like Cole Bishop in another year of development. Of course, Teron Johnson, they moved on from him, so that's an interesting call, right? I look
Where
at
you go?
them, and I don't think they have a better defense than the Patriots, personally. I could see where they want to take the Bills because they've been a more consistent franchise, and perhaps you lean towards the Bills because now with DJ Moore, their offense will be even better, right?
Oh, fucker.
Running the football.
Where you at?
You got DJ Moore, Dalton Kincaid,
Where you at, douche?
Khalil Shakir, plenty of weaponry to go around for arguably the best quarterback in football with an established offensive line and an established culture.
Where the fuck did he go?
Their head coach, there's belief that Buffalo will continue to be a contender, and maybe this will even help them get over the top. I get all of that. I would actually disagree with this schedule reasoning. Yes, the Bills finished second in their division last year. The Patriots were first. If you were actually to look at the differentiation of the schedule, the Patriots, instead of playing Baltimore, play the Steelers. I would argue that's an easier game, right? The Patriots may play Denver.
Where did he go?
The Chargers, right? So that's pretty even. In the AFC South, the Patriots actually played Jacksonville instead of Houston, which I would argue is probably a better matchup for the Patriots.
Fuck
When
this!
you look at the AFC scheduling and the first place scheduling, I think it actually benefits the Patriots in a way. I would also argue that the Bills, if you look at their schedule, it is extremely difficult. Like, take a look at it, guys. It's really tough. I think it's tougher than the Patriots. So I don't think scheduling is a reason to fade the Patriots in favor of the Bills. I think their reasoning should come down to their consistency, come down to Josh Allen, the storylines, even when he's been a former head coach in places like the Raiders and Denver. And okay, you got Jarrett Wilson, Will Campbell entering year 2 in development. You also added a first-round tackle in Caleb Wilson. And the Patriots must be liking what they have up front because they just traded the depth offensive line. You don't do that in the NFL unless you feel very confident, right? They still got pieces like Michael Vick. They brought in Elijah Tucker. They've got Morgan Moses still there. And you look at how deep and exceptional their receiving core is. It's really, really nice. Like, A.J. Brown is not only a real number 1, but now everyone falls in line. Romeo Dobbs is a proper number 2. You've got guys like Keyshawn Mooney, Mac Hollins, Kyle Williams, Mario Douglas, Efton Chisholm, Hunter Henry. The list goes on and on and on and on. And then you've got a really nice duo in the backfield between Stevenson and Henderson with a power and, pop in terms of speed. Like the Patriots with Trey May, who, for my money, is a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the NFL and played like that last year. If he continues on this trajectory and continues to play at that level like he did last year, they're going to be the best team in the division because they have the more talented roster, they have the more talented staff, and defensively, they have one of the elite secondaries in football with Kevin Byard joining the club. They've got an exceptional duo of defensive tackles that anchor their defensive line in the run and the pass game. And unless the Patriots significantly regress due to mostly injuries, I would argue, they're going to be right there with the Bills, and it's probably going to be very, very tight, and it's going to come down to maybe 1 or 2 games, but I would argue that the Patriots, if you're arguing for talent, they should probably be your number 1 pick in this division. If you're arguing for consistency, and I need to see more out of the Patriots from last year to this year, then that's fine. I can see why you have the Bills at number 1, but I do disagree with Colin's logic there. Let's move on to the AFC North. The AFC North, tough one for me. Ravens have a lot of new people, 3 new offensive line starters. Did not like them allowing Tyler Linderbaum to go to the Raiders. They have a new coaching staff, Jesse Minter, but Minter opened the season with 7 straight teams that didn't make the playoffs, so it's a soft opening. They have the highest NFL win total. It's an exceptional organization. So my take is they just win 10, 11 games every year. I think Jesse Minter was the hot coordinator in this cycle. So my guess is they win. I'm going to take Cincinnati. They deserve credit. Their defensive line has been hapless for the last several years. Dexter Lawrence is a great get. Jonathan Allen, Brandon Buffett from the Seahawks is a good get. Not a great player, but a good get. They are making a commitment to the defensive line. I don't know who's from this franchise. I'm going to give them credit for that. Dexter Lawrence was a big swing. I think with that schedule and those offensive players, they probably are a playoff team. Ravens 1, Bengals 2 in the AFC North.
All right. I think this is fair. I can see the Bengals
Come on.
winning this division, and honestly, I don't really think there's much of an argument here for the Seahawks and the Browns. Maybe I'm crazy and I'm ruling out the Steelers and I'm being disrespectful, but I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't love the Mike McCarthy hire. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to have much left in the tank. I'm not a huge fan of their offensive line, and statistically, their defense wasn't very good last year. And maybe the upgraded defensive coordinator will help. I also didn't love getting rid of Kenny Gainwell. I think this team did make some nice moves in Pittsburgh, like Janelle Dean and Michael Pittman and Sebastian Joseph Day and Jaquan Brisker, some nice free agency additions. But Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, if they're mostly healthy, these should be the teams and the quarterbacks that represent the division. The Bengals, I'm with Colin. This could be a team that's back and relevant in contention. If their defensive line can be the strength and anchor that defense, and they can complement an elite offense, which we know they have, between T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, I think an underrated offensive line because everyone kind of dogs him. And Chase Brown could have maybe his best NFL season from start to finish. I think he could have a huge year this year. I think that Joe Burrow's motivated, Lamar Jackson's motivated. These 2 teams have the best quarterbacks. And yeah, I would slightly agree that Baltimore is, of course, the better roster. I don't know if the schedule is a huge factor because Cincinnati technically does have the easier schedule. They play the 3rd place schedule while the Ravens play the 2nd place schedule. when you look at the Bengals schedule, it's very easy.
You ready to make Joe disappear? So looking forward to this.
We make Joe disappear. You have to do good point.
What are we even doing?
This journey with childhood cancer comes at you in waves. Every day we wake up knowing that our 2-year-old has cancer. It's tough to get through.
The tumor is around the size of a baseball. I believe in the power of hope. And from the very first visit here at St. Jude, it was about hope and love. Because you go in expecting the worst.
You can join the battle to save luck.
Easy. The Bengals are less reliable than the Ravens. And it's not really because either quarterback, as both quarterbacks are potential liabilities to get hurt. Like, I think either one of these, if they miss 2 or 3 more games and the other stays healthy, that's going to give a huge tilt towards the other team to win the division. That's probably going to be the deciding factor. If Joe Burrow gets hurt for 4 games and the Bengals only win 9 because of that, right? And that could be a factor. But Lamar Jackson, if he goes down for 3 games, that can be a factor as well. But I do think that Jesse Minter was a great hire. I do think the Ravens have a more solidified, secure defense. I really like a lot of their talent there. Trey Hendrickson is a pickup. Calais Campbell is a great pickup. Guys like Nate Wiggins, Orlin Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, and Roquan Smith, they've got a lot of talent defensively for Jesse Minter, who's a genius on that side of the ball to really work with. My concern comes down to the supporting cast around Lamar, which is the opposite of Joe Burrow. Like Joe Burrow, I'm concerned more about the defense. Can it hold up? Their linebackers, are these moves enough to make them go from hapless to respectable defensively, right? And I'm talking about some of the players I like there, you know, but I feel like the Ravens do have a more talented team, more talented all-around team. But outside of Zay Flowers, and if Derrick Henry doesn't play like a king this year and he drops off a bit, there could be concerns about the Ravens supporting cast offensively, because it's really, if Derrick Henry is not still great, it's really only Zay Flowers, and it's not as good of a Mark Andrews. Like, he's not the same guy he used to be 3-4 years ago. So I can see this going either way, and I think both these teams will probably make the playoffs. Holland seems to think the Bengals won't. I would argue I think they probably do. So that's where I would disagree with Holland there.
NFC South dominers easy the Texans. D'Amico Ryans, top 5 or 6 coach in the NFL. They ended the regular
5 or 6 is high, but maybe top 10.
season on a 9-game winning streak, and C.J. Stroud.
I hope they didn't go on a strike.
Needs to reboot because he did not play well down the stretch. They have 3 new
Down the stretch, he hasn't played good for 2 years.
Under D'Amico Ryans, 10+ wins. I think last year by a stretch, it was the best defense in the league. I think D'Amico and Mike McDonald were just brilliant defensive head coaches. I have the Devils coming in second. They were 8-2 in the #1 seed before Daniel Jones went down. I think Chris Ballard has a squad. They just didn't feel the Larson Tanner, retiring quarterback. They were also 3-7 in one-score games. You know my theory on that. That always slips. They were in a lot of close games and lost those. I also think their offensive talent is excellent. Jonathan Taylor is a beast. Tyler Warren, Allen Pierce, get him healthy. Josh Downs. I like this team a lot. Daniel Jones is upright. Shane Steichen's a brilliant offensive coach. Texans win it. Colts #2. Playoff team, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Colts pick. I like the Jags over the Colts. I like both coaches, right? Steichen and Cohen. I slightly lean Cohen. I like their defensive coordinator as well in Jacksonville. I really like the depth of Jacksonville's playmaking core. I prefer Trevor Lawrence, who's healthy, rotating, doesn't work, coming back from injury. Daniel Jones, I like the Colts line, and I do love Jonathan Taylor as opposed to the run game of Jacksonville. But again, Cohen gets a lot of love for me in the run scheme department. And I do feel like with guys like Travis Hunter and Brenton Strange, maybe healthier this year, Brian Thomas, maybe playing more like he did as a rookie, they could really take this offense to a really
Oh,
scary
grab
place.
his fucking hand.
Trevor Lawrence plays at a fairly average level. I don't really think
sure these defenses are great, but I'm concerned about the Bulls' defense. I don't love what they have in the secondary. I think Sauce is kind of overrated. Their linebacking core is very young. When I look at Jacksonville, I still know that their foundation of their defensive line is quite strong. I think their secondary is a little underrated in some areas. Their corners are better than people think. So I look at the Jags and I just, they were a really, really, really good team last year. I think they will regress this season. I don't have them currently making the playoffs, but I definitely have them above the Wolves. I'm not even sure the Wolves will finish third in the division, and maybe that's crazy and disrespectful for what they were doing last year. James Hyken and his consistency of doing more with less. But the Titans are also kind of interesting as well as a potential upstart team. So I would throw that out there. Let me know what you guys think about the AFC South. For the AFC West, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I didn't even talk about the Texans. I really have no words other than, the Texans are awesome. Their defense is ridiculous. And if CJ Stroud is halfway decent, they might be in the AFC Championship.
Yo, what's up, man?
You're getting angry.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like legitimate fucking pissed off.
Yeah. And you're already pissed off enough because of all the situations going on personal.
Yeah, but the PD Piranha plant thing really fucking pissed me off, dude.
Oh, I was watching that. I was like, what the fuck is going on? How do you do that shit?
Yeah, he flew away. Completely flew away. I don't remember it being that way.
So how'd you have to do that? You just threw one of those things at him and you flew away, or did you have to get to him?
Oh, I quit that level and went to a different one.
I thought you couldn't do that.
Well, different levels are popping up, but you can't skip episodes in a level.
Oh.
And I can't skip it if I want to beat Bowser, by the way.
Oh.
I'm still going to have to beat it. Because even if you get 50 Shine Sprites, that's not what gets you to Bowser. What gets you to Bowser is beating the 7th episode of all 7 worlds, which you could do as little as 50 Shine Sprites. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was fucking
hot.
mad. You what?
It's too fucking hot.
Yeah, it's really hot. But no, I realized that there's a couple things about Sunshine. I never understood why I dislike Sunshine more than the other Mario games. I always blame the jetpack. But I really believe the truth of it is the locked-in episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that's the reason. Because in Mario 64, there's so much freedom of, if I fuck up here, I can just go here and do this instead, and then come back later to whatever. And you can kind of do it here, but not really, because I still have to, no matter what I do, I could get fucking 40 blue coin stars. It doesn't matter. I have to beat that PD Piranha plant to get to Bowser in that one level. He's got to beat the 7 episodes. So just the lack of flexibility, I think, is the biggest issue.
Yeah.
And that still would be an issue if the game itself was better. It's just, when you compare it to some of the other 3D Mario games, come on, we're talking about Odyssey, we're talking about 64, we're talking about Galaxy 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about going to a restaurant that's serving gourmet steak, and this is a fucking cheeseburger.
Uh-huh.
Like, I even like 3D Land and 3D World more than this stuff, you know? There's also a number of 2D Mario games I like better than this as well. Actually, that would be a fun topic of discussion. What Mario games are better than Sunshine? Or it might be easier to name which Mario games are worse than Sunshine. Eli, what Mario games do you think are worse than Sunshine? Not just 3D, but overall, all Mario games, like mainline Mario.
I'm back.
Oh, you just got back. I was gonna say we were gonna open up a new topic of conversation. What Mario games, 2D included, 2D and 3D? What Mario games are actually worse than Sunshine?
Are worse than Sunshine?
Yeah,
The Game Boy ones.
I would agree. Super Mario Land 1 and 2. I mean, Super Mario Land is just really short, and Super Mario Land 2 is not bad, but I would say for sure those two are worse. I agree with you.
What about? I think that's about it.
Well,
Maybe Lost Levels.
Well, we agree this is the worst 3D Mario, right?
Yeah.
Like we agree that Galaxy 1 and 2, 3D World, 3D Land, 64 and Odyssey are better. So we're just looking at 2D ones now. What 2D games are better or worse? Well, Game Boy games. Yeah, I agree. It's better than Mario Land 1 and 2. Let's talk about the original, the OG 4. It's not.
I think it's worse than Lost. I think it's better than Lost Levels.
I'll disagree. I'll push back on that one. I think Lost Levels is better. I'd rather get frustrated doing that than frustrated doing this.
Okay.
Like, I would much rather. I prefer to get frustrated in a 2D platformer over a 3D platformer. Because a lot of times, if I get frustrated in a 3D platformer, you know what it usually is? It's usually camera. Either camera or can't find something. If I get frustrated in a 2D level, it's usually because I need to up my skill or do a skill. What's this?
Christopher Judge, the Kratos actor, thinks that these live action adaptations for video games should take writers from the video games. Like take some writers from the studios that worked on the video games.
Oh, and put them in movies.
Yeah, live action movies or live action TV shows.
You know, I wish I knew what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah, and you just died.
That's insane. I'm about to just go over to that level.
Apparently, Warren is going to have a new game plus day one.
Oh, wow, really? So is this game worse than Super Mario Brothers 2?
I don't really like Super Mario Bros. 2. I like the first one and the third one, and then Super Mario Bros.
See, I would actually take Super Mario Brothers 2 and Lost Levels over this also. And then we have moving on to Super Nintendo. We obviously would agree it's not better than Super Mario World.
We would take it over the Yoshi's Island bullshit.
Well, Yoshi's Island, we'll say that's that's a Yoshi game to me. That's not a Mario game.
We'll take it over Dr. Mario.
I didn't include Dr. Mario in the conversation. Most of it's 2D or mainline Mario games. So we can go on to the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Is this better than
They're
any
all
of
the
the new?
same they're all the same pretty much.
So would you rather play any of the new Super Mario Bros. Games or this?
I've ever played new Super Mario Bros.
Me too. All of them. Yeah. Which used to not be my take actually, but actually playing today has lowered my opinion of Sunshine. I used to say Sunshine's 9 out of 10. I think I backed that shit up to an 8. I don't know. It's weird because just 6 years ago, like I said, just 6 years ago, I basically played this game on Switch 1. Beat it.
A clip just surfaced of Erica Kurt saying pornography isn't a bad thing.
Now, what's not a bad thing?
Pornography.
Wow. Are you shocked?
I'm not shocked. I don't think Erica Kurt is that good of a person.
Do you think she's behind his death?
No, but I'm not into all that shit. I just think she's kind of crazy.
Well, you notice, even though I'm a conspiracy theorist, I never touched that issue either.
This was when she was running for a beauty pageant. So that could have been before they were married, but I don't know.
That's just how she is.
I don't know if she was ever a good enough woman for Charlie. I watched a video today. There was this school in Utah called Farmington High, and they had like a full-on Golden Corral buffet for their lunches.
Wow. So fucking crazy.
It might as well just be Golden Corral at the school.
Sometimes I have to exit and re-enter the level just to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Okay, I sprayed that fucking twig already. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Why is it I'm either not remembering shit on how to do this game, or the shit you have to do in this game is just so ridiculous? I'm honestly, I swear to God, I'm about ready just to fucking quit.
Yeah.
I feel defeated. Maybe I'm pressing going up to the wrong fucking twig.
Apparently this was a clip from 15 years ago, though.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other twigs on the ground, so maybe I just went up to the wrong twig.
It's either a quick resurfacing or something new.
Probably quick resurfacing.
One of my friends I had to cut off because he started badmouthing my pastor just because my pastor didn't want me watching his church service.
So, a friend of yours had a church service. Your pastor said, "Don't watch your church service."
Yeah.
Dang. Well, we're getting close to finishing the book of Genesis in our Bible
Yeah,
studies.
I haven't watched the past 3 weeks because I forgot about it.
Yeah, I keep putting them out on Sundays though. This last one, it's more about Joseph and also Benjamin and the silver cup and stuff
Are
like
you
that.
going into Job next, or are you going to do Exodus?
Exodus is after Genesis.
I was just wondering if you were going chronological and going into Job.
I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way in order, dude. Wait till he gets to Leviticus.
Fucking hell, I hate that shit.
You don't like Leviticus?
No, I don't.
What's wrong with Leviticus?
It's just politics.
Well, yeah, remember what I said. Genesis is a family drama
Yeah.
more than anything. That's still what's going on, by the way, in the book of Genesis. There's word to Joseph and his brothers. You know what's going on there.
Are you going to get Phantom Blade Zero?
No,
Why not?
when's that come out?
October 29th?
Well, I know in October I'm getting Rayman and I'm getting Castlevania. I don't know what my third game's going to be.
Phantom Blade Zero looks really fucking good.
I think Mario Sunshine broke me, dude. I feel defeated, bro.
This might be one of the worst Nintendo games I ever played.
I'm actually going to retitle the stream Mario Sunshine Broke Me.
I said play Mario Galaxy instead.
Let's see. Let me retitle this. Are you the one that's watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to retitle this stream. This stream is gonna. I really thought I was like, oh, I'm gonna run through it here and maybe beat the game in 6 hours, dude. This is not Galaxy. This is not Galaxy 2. This is freaking 64. This game's trash, actually. Like, we went full circle. This is trash. Now I remember why I like Sonic Adventure Battle 2 more.
Yeah.
Came out at the same time.
I'm tired of fucking hearing about EDP.
I'm not covering it anymore. Done with it.
Yeah, I know, but I keep seeing videos on my For You page talking about it.
Let's see. Mario, Sunshine, broke me. Mario, Sunshine, broke me.
This guy on YouTube says the Rapture doesn't exist.
That's there's different. I believe in a pre-tribulation rapture.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get off the stream though yet. I'm not going to. But yeah, let's see. How long did I last?
Less than 2 hours.
Well, actually, it's still my second most played GameCube game. It was an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
My most played is the Path of Radiance.
Yeah.
Hell, I almost pick up Path of Radiance where I left off? I could. No. I'm good where I'm at with Fire Emblem. I'll wait until Fire Emblem comes out. I don't want to burn myself out at all on that. I mean, technically, I could get a little further in Path of Radiance if I wanted, but I'm good. I think what I'll do is let's go to Mario Kart. If I'm going to beat my head against the wall, I might as well beat my head against the wall. Doing this. Try to get.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right.
I'm back.
What's up, man? So I
I'm
think I found the
miserable.
perfect combo.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, man?
I didn't hear what you said.
I think I found the perfect combo of driver
Yeah.
and cart.
Uh-huh.
It's Goomba and the Toon Thumper.
Dude, my brother and sister like to play Penguin.
Well, if I want that acceleration, I got the Toon Thumper and Goomba. Get out with the lead, get coins.
Uh-huh. I wonder why they changed it for you to be able to have 20 coins.
I think just because there's so many more ways to get coins and coins that are available. It was a good change, in my opinion.
I'm miserable.
Why?
I think I have hemorrhoids.
Yeah, that would suck.
That's what my mom said.
Like even if I lose this, this is the new combo for now. This combo had me in first most of the race.
Yeah.
Remember, I already have the drill cups done. It's this one that I'm missing. Mirror mode at 150cc on. If I complete it on mirror mode, it completes the road. So, sure. Nope, didn't get it. So yeah, I'll keep plugging away at it. So let's see, how many mainline Mario games have there been? Because
Like 50.
no, I'm talking just 2D and 3D platformers. Not counting Wario Land stuff, Yoshi stuff, any of that shit, Donkey Kong stuff, none of that.
Probably 30.
I'm gonna say 20. Let's see if I'm right. So you have the 4 NES games. And again, All Stars is just a compilation of those and upgraded. So that
I'll
doesn't
look it
count.
up.
But the 4 NES games, you have the 1 Super Nintendo game. You have the 4 new Super Mario Brothers games. And then
There's
you have
22 games.
Huh?
There's 22 games.
Oh, you looked it up?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if I counted out right. So then you have the 2 Game Boy games, that's 11. Now, maybe they're counting the Mario Maker stuff. I will not be counting the
No,
Mario
they're
Maker
just
stuff.
counting the Super Mario platformer series.
Okay, so I'm at 11 right now, and then I add the 3D Marios in there. That would be 64, Odyssey, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, Sunshine, 3D Land, 3D World. That's 7.
They're counting the Super Mario Land games.
Yeah, I did too. So I'm at 18 right now. So how do they get 22?
They counted.
Oh, Wonder's
Mario.
a game. I forgot about Wonder.
They counted Mario Maker Wonder, Mario Run, and they made Mario Maker 2, Mario Maker 1, and Mario Run.
Okay, I don't count Mario Run, and I don't count the 2 Mario Maker games. So I'm right. There's about 19.
Yeah.
So I am going to rank the 19.
Would you count Bowser's Fury?
No, that's DLC for 3D World. But no, I'm gonna go ahead and this is me trying to rank all the Mario games out of those 19. So
Now the question is, World better or is 64 better?
World's my favorite. So World's number 1. Do you have a number 1? I don't expect you to get through the full list, but do you have a number 1, Eli?
Galaxy 1 or 2.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, that's high up there for me. My number 2 is going to be 64.
And then 3 is Odyssey.
3 Odyssey. Yes. Yes, I would say 3 is Odyssey. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. I have to think about it a little bit because I think what number 4 is. I think number 4 for me is still Super Mario Brothers 3. So I'm gonna go Super Mario Brothers 3 is number 4. That's probably an insane. You probably think that's an insane take. I have that over Galaxy.
People are counting Super Mario World 2 as one.
No, I don't count that either. I count the 19 that we talked about. But
Do you count the DS versions of Super Mario Bros?
no, that's all like ports, remakes, remasters. I
No,
mostly
the new versions of Super Mario Bros. Like new Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
no, none of those Game Boy Advance ones or anything like that either. Just
I meant the new Super Mario Bros. And new Super Mario
well,
Bros.
new Super Mario Brothers counts. So like, but for me, basically, it's the 4 original Mario games and 5 original Mario games if you count World, right? Obviously, you count World, and then it's the 5 modern 2D Mario games, which would be the new Super Mario Brothers games plus Wonder, and then the 2 handheld ones, Mario Land 1 and 2, and then the 7 3D games, which is Odyssey 64, Galaxy 1 and 2, Sunshine, 3D Land, 3D World. Restart. So we're up to number 5. And for me, the big debate's always between Galaxy 1 and 2. It's really fucking close, dude.
Yeah.
Well, how do you lean on that? Do you go Galaxy 1 or 2?
I haven't finished both of them, so I'm going to say, for now, out what I played, Super Mario Galaxy 1.
Oh, man. It's so difficult. I'm going to say 1. I'm going to say Galaxy 1 is number 5, and Galaxy 2 is number 6. So, but it's I'm splitting hairs, dude. Literally splitting hairs. I'd be more than happy if we got a Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on to number 7. I'm going to have to say 3D World. I think a lot of people underrate this game. This game's really fucking good.
Which one?
3D World.
I like 3D World.
Yeah, I think people underrate it. That whole 2.5D, Mario game. I mean, I classify it as a 3D game. It has 3D in the title. We move to 3 dimensions. But it's sort of, Kirby Forgotten Land does that sort of, thing as well. It's a platformer that plays like a 2D game, but in a 3D plane. I think it's really interesting. Obviously, 3D Land did it first, but I think World did it better. They did the multiplayer a lot better than the new Super Mario Brothers series. So I think that's number 7. And then moving on to number 8. Number 8, I'm going to have to go with Mario Wonder. Did you ever play that one?
Yeah, I played some of it. It was okay.
It's buck fucking wild for a
My
modern
favorite-
Mario game.
My favorite Mario game to play is what's it called? The 3D World.
Oh, and to be clear, the number 8 through like 13 is splitting fucking hairs. You can literally almost put in any order.
Yeah.
Because I would say
Yes.
number 9 for me, and you get, I'm really stripping away the nostalgia the best I can. That's why Mario Wonder, it just is the better game. You know what I mean? Of the games below it.
But
But
see
number,
Zilla is in NXT now.
you what?
Do you see Zilla is in NXT now?
No.
Yeah, they're probably gonna do a Patu family stable.
So number 9, this is where I think this is going to get the biggest pushback from you. But I really enjoyed the challenge of this game, the Lost Levels.
I mean, I never played it. It just doesn't look that good.
I mean, do you remember seeing me playing on stream, me fucking cussing it out?
Yeah, I thought that was bullshit.
Yeah, it's some bullshit like with the wind and the fucking it's bullshit. Like that game is. I'll admit this: the game is a lot more tolerable because of save states.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, depending how you play the game, you might have a very different view of it. So maybe that's not fair, but I don't know. I don't know, the asshole-ish nature of the Lost Levels, I find it interesting. So then we go on to number 10. Number 10, I'm going to say is 3D Land. Give it its due. I think some of the actual 3D part of the game, I thought it was one of the best early 3DS games, and it's literally the only game I enjoyed using the 3D effect. All right, so then we go on to number 11. Number 11, OG Mario Bros.
Mario Bros. Is a timeless classic, the first one.
No, it is. It's completely a timeless classic. And if we were to include nostalgia into the game, then I believe Mario Bros. 1 is the single most important game in video game history.
Even I played the original Super Mario Bros.
And it was
I may not be good at it, but it's good.
And it's extremely innovative for its time.
Yeah.
I'm just going off of what game right now do I feel is better than the other games right now. And so that's why it's all the way at number 11. But it legit could definitely be higher on the list too. I just think the games above it obviously took from that game and improved on it. So that's where I have that. Notice I don't have any of the new Super Mario Brothers games listed yet. But I think that changes with number 12 on the list. Number 12 on the list, I think, is New Super Mario Brothers Wii. I think that's the best of the 4 New Super Mario Brothers games. Wouldn't you agree?
What did you say?
I think New Super Mario Brothers Wii is number 12. I think it's the best of the new Super Mario Brothers games. Would you agree?
Well, I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
See ya. this recapture. Alright, hold on. Get some Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave news.
I've been saying Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave could be the best Fire Emblem game of all time and one of the best strategy RPGs of all time, if not the best one, because the scope and scale of this game is unlike anything that we've seen before, and a quality for Fire Emblem that we've quite honestly never seen before. And just for the genre itself, strategy RPGs are a huge major thing. We don't see a lot of them, especially in the high fantasy type when it comes to major and triple A. We see a lot of smaller ones. What we're seeing and what we're hearing from Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave and the previews from multiple big outlets like IGN, BGC, My Nintendo News, and Eurogamer shows that this game is shaped up to be a behemoth, one of the most ambitious games ever when it comes to Fire Emblem, and very much could be the next great game on the system. So we're going to break down everything with the previews, the spoilers, of course, what's good, what's not so good, what this game can do, and the potential, let's just say, reviews of what's happening, because now the tone is shifting quite a bit, because they are very positive on this game, so there is a lot to get into. But before we continue, we are on our way to Nintendo Switch 2 have 140,000 subscribers, or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever you chosen that random minute on your way. Next week's one of the headlines from Eurogamer, just to give you guys a snippet of what we're going to talk about, says 20 hours in, I cannot believe the scale, complexity, and ambition of Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. And yes, that's from Western outlet Eurogamer. So definitely a good start. But I was able to comprise a lot of different opinions and a lot of different write-ups, and I went over everything. And these are pretty much the big points of what makes Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave so good. So according to many different outlets, they say this is one of the biggest, most ambitious games on the Nintendo Switch 2 period. Not just most ambitious Fire Emblem, or the biggest Fire Emblem, but just games on the Switch 2 overall. And definitely from the first party perspective as well. There are tons of activities to do. A huge world map, different tasks, side quests, which Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave direct show that off once you actually play yourself, and people are able to play and not just see it from there. You get a little bit of a different perspective on just the sheer amount of what to do. But is it convenient? Is it fun? Is it intuitive? These are all the things that they're saying about it. There's a lot of stuff to do, but you don't have to do it. You can automate some things. You can go straight and just relight it for the end of the game and just play. And you can not even remove the past characters. You can just go and fight. And if you don't see a final boss or one of the final bosses, it seems like to get past there, but you're probably going to get smoked when you do it. So there's a lot of substance within the content. It's not just a lot of content for the sake of having a lot of content. It all has purpose and everything that you do in there to enhance, to solidify, to gain knowledge, to do different things. So I'm loving how they're talking about the activities and how intuitive and great that they are within the scope of each character's progress. Now there are plenty of new characters, which is great. I love characters. That's one of the best things about Fire Emblem is putting together your squad, getting certain characters that you want, finding the best characters, breaking the game in some ways when it comes to finding really good characters
switched at any time. You fire them up, 3 houses. They have their stories. You play with all repeat content when it comes to violent encountering them. So this time, each character feels like it has a unique and fleshed out story built specifically for it to be played. Not just to be saying, yeah, but I love this character, and that's what I'm going to do, and that's my choice. That's kind of how everybody else is. This is not that. They know, or they encourage you to play all of the characters. So it's essentially Fire Emblem for houses, but also done right. To be played with all the characters, to experience everything each character offers. So I love that setup significantly more. And what they've done in the past was fighting with the different games, Fire Emblem, Birthright, and Conquest, are having these 3 paths and making it so there's a lot of repeat content before you get into the unique stuff with each individual path. So, definitely better there. The class encounters and dungeons. This was awesome because they said that it speeds things up from traditional turn-based combat. You pick what you want to do, and it all executes it. So it's a very different take on Fire Emblem. Because Fire Emblem's always been strategy RPG. You have a little branding, and you put a bigger units on the map. But now you have these dungeons, and there's a lot of dungeons. And all of those dungeons have enemies in there, and they play out in turn-based battles. So that's a very big and unique and very fun. All of the previews said that it's pretty cool to go into those dungeons, get books, fight in a different way, and break stuff that you're usually used to as variety to the gameplay. I wasn't too worried about that. I was excited, but I wanted to make sure that it was actually fun. You know, but this is these clashes, as they're called, is pretty cool, and it adds to the experience. So that's positive with that. Now, there is a shocking amount of voice dialogue, and that's not too shocking to me. Fire Emblem, you know, says had a ton of voice dialogue. Look at even Fire Emblem on the 3DS game, and I had a lot of good voice dialogue, but 3 houses had a ton. So it's good to see that here, but I'm guessing because the scope and scale of this game is just bigger than Fire Emblem 3 houses, it even makes the scope of all the different voice characters even more, considering you have 4 separate characters that you can switch between at any point. And then it all saves the data and everything. There's an automated training that we had in 3 houses, so if you want to get straight into the action, you can just do that. You can automate it, you can assign a task to do them, or you can do it yourself. Obviously, it would be better if you can actually play it out yourself. But the automation is there if you want it, which was a nice little feature of Fire Emblem 3 houses. It's back here again. We just want to play and get in that awesome gameplay. Now, here's another cool thing. And once again, this was something that people were a little bit worried about, but it looks like it's been handled. Each main character feels like a fully fleshed out main protagonist. It doesn't feel like one character is and the other character. There's like one, okay, this is the canon route compared to the non-canon route. They all feel great. According to the previews, they all feel fleshed out. They all have their own stories, their own side quests, their own missions, their own ambitions, their own details. And that is what I'm talking about. That is one of the best things. So, very excited about that. Now, there's been a little bit of controversy. There's one thing that it's been a thing in other RPGs. There's only one save file per profile. Now, if you play by yourself and you don't have anybody else in your house, or if you just play through the game, you're fine. You can use that profile. However, there's some misconceptions about this before we get into exactly what you can do with that. If you have a Switch 2, and if you make a new profile, even let's switch 1. If there's a game that only has one save file, if you want a fresh save, so if you have a brother or sister or mom or dad or whatever, right? Son or daughter or whoever wants to play, all you have to do is make another profile. If you make another profile, that will be a fresh save. You don't have to buy another Switch 2 or buy another game to be able to have a fresh save. You can just make another profile, and that will get you a fresh save. There are some people, some content creators do AEW loves a good seafood plateau. A platter. Tower. Sorry. And I went out with you and he ordered I screwed up when I ordered it because I was trying to make sure that was an error. Didn't get overcharged. Exactly. But more importantly, I went to a restaurant that you walk by all the time in Grand Central that has an entire section of the menu of towers, seafood and other stuff.
Grand Central Oyster Bar?
No,
Another place with towers?
yeah, but it's just a bunch of towers. They pull sandwiches, little whole thing's your idea.
Star in Kansas City, Brian DiArdo of CBS Sports writing about the most optimistic fan bases in the NFL. Shocker. Coming in at 32, the Jets. At number 1,
Makes sense.
the Chiefs. DiArdo writing, despite last year's 6-11 record, the Chiefs have the most optimistic fan base. Some of that optimism might come from the irrational confidence that comes with winning 3 Super Bowls and 5 AFC titles in 7 years.
That's right.
Rudy, you want to go first here? You like this in the meeting? You want to do something big? Pass or play? Because I feel like that isn't
I think my answer might surprise you.
Okay,
So what you guys
any doubts the Chiefs return to AFC dominance for one of their dominance?
Well, I think that might be why they might surprise.
any doubt? Sure. It's a little doubt.
Wow! How far we come from never a doubt. Yeah, they will go 20-0. Now, that's right. So everyone's undefeated right now.
Yeah. But what I knew they said to be surprised. Am I confident they will return to AFC dominance? Yes. Do I think as we sit here today, they have the best shot of any team in the conference of getting back to the Super Bowl? I do. I think the Patriots Super Bowl hangover plus the tougher schedule would be real. I think there are massive questions just about is our head coach. And again, I really like one of the hires. I was very good at one the other, but it's blind questions to me. I think there's a lot of the same regression schedule stuff in place. The Broncos and Clef, they don't believe in the Chargers. The AFC South, to me, doesn't have, we disagree on this, age group top tier contender in the division as much as I like Trevor, how much as you like the Texans defense, like that covers. So I think the Chiefs are as well positioned as any team in the conference. It's, not predictions we get, but we're coming up on it. I would be surprised if I don't pick them to win the conference. I'm not saying win the Super Bowl to win the conference, but what I've always said is I owe the audience honesty. And the honest answer is, do I have the same confidence level as never a doubt? Or after coming off winning the first Super Bowl post-Tyreek Hill, or a second straight Super Bowl post-Tyreek Hill when the team in the regular season looked awful, or a third straight trip to the Super Bowl with 15-1, even though they got shellacked in the Super Bowl? No, this is probably the least. The first year after they traded Tyreek, which was because we had seen them fail. Now that year they didn't fail, but in the second half of that playoff game against the Bengals, they did. And they traded Tyreek, and they have these two players on defense. And so I am not, I do consider myself 10 toes down that I think the team's going to be really good, that I believe in them. But is there some doubt for a team whose quarterback is coming off the ACL, had all that changeover, and there is still major questions in the receiving corps? Of course, there is a touch of doubt.
Someone didn't put on their 15 touch.
No,
That was a very nice, honest, pretty unbiased answer. Yeah, there's plenty of I actually have doubts. I wouldn't say a conviction. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I have doubt that they don't even make the playoffs.
so that's where we're going to disagree with you.
I'm not saying I'm not going to be able to make the playoffs, but I do have some doubt about that. And let me out the way. forward to winning in those seasons. But has not finished top 5. Has not finished top 5. And now, of course, he's coming off a serious injury, even though he looks like he's healthy, but he's coming off tough injury. Receiving core has a major beaches out. Absolutely. And Travis Kelce is 37 in October, so he's getting a defense. Lost 3 of their, 3 quarters of their defensive backfield last year. And Chris Jones, probably a future Hall of Famer, I think should be certainly a future Hall of Famer, is still very good, but not what he was a few years ago.
I wonder if he bounces back this year, but last year,
And he was bad.
last year was the worst year he's had in 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, so
He wasn't
that's
up to
totally,
his
yeah,
typical stance.
that's totally fair.
The AFC West is tough. Whether you think it's better than last year or not, it's tight. The Chargers are legit. The Broncos are obviously legit. And not only, they got good coaches too. Like, coaches that generally, every year, I know right there's some down years in the road, but generally their teams are good year in and year out. And so, yeah, I think, look, out of respect for Mahomes and Andy Reid and what they've done over the last, half decade plus, just a full decade, I certainly will write them off. But yeah, I got faith.
You guys have really come up with Chiefs doubter on the show. So he's one like quarter. You guys can have it because the other day when I vociferously said you should be worried about the Chiefs, and I listened. The reason why I was down at the Chiefs was like, well, how many games do you have left? And I said, you know what? Not that many. Everyone's football schedule doesn't do have the Chiefs in the spot because gambling was killing me. Because I started to go through it. I'm like, all right, Broncos, who's that game? Colts, let's win. And then the Dolphins are winning, and then the Raiders are winning. Okay? Those are 3-1. Right? Against the Chargers, 5. Okay? That's 4. And then it's got the Seahawks, at the Seahawks. At the Seahawks, you give it to the Seahawks. At Denver's Hardwood Vegas, Jets, Dolphins, Cardinals. Those are 3 more W's. So now you're at 7 by your math. I don't believe in the bells. So that's 8. Yeah. Rams, that's probably a loss. Even if you go the Bengals and Patriots, 49ers are going to be, who knows with the 49ers, that'll be Mac Jones, Ryan Mac Jones, and I know because it's straight out, just a lot of injuries. More turned than the Raiders. Yeah. And that's something, I think maybe there's a silly moments in it. I'm expecting when Scanlon. So, yeah, even in my heart, I feel like, so I doubt though, on paper, like, no, actually, so, and so this is where we do disagree is the concern about their ability to return to the top of the division. And Bruce having us a concern over it just out of the division, just being one of the 7 of 16 teams. Now we're going to go help people customize and save hundreds of packages. Where's the Kart? There it is. And when losing to Denver last year, when Patrick started, and even with never beating the Chargers last year, when Patrick started the first game of the year, maybe both games he started, he starts, I don't remember. Here's Patrick in his career against the AFC West. And what you're going to see is it's 36-8. Going into that game against Denver last year, even though it felt like the narrative going in this man, the Broncos get the Patrick a ton of trouble. He was 13-1 in his career against Denver. He was 13-2 in his career against the Raiders. So I do believe the Chiefs have a massive structural advantage over their division counterparts. Which, if you win the division, you get to the postseason. And here is Patrick in his career, including all these down years in the AFC side of the playoffs. He has a 1-12 rating. time when he's been, not after Mahomes in the regular season. He still is when he sees these teams in the playoffs to lead into the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, his Super Bowl appearances, he's been blown out twice. He's won MVP of the game the other 3 times. I feel like when he got this, he got to do almost be MVP for any team. I have no idea. It would be his 6th appearance in 9 years. Yeah, sure. But I think for them, it would be a downer because they used to win it. Yeah, it's fine. But you still be like, it would be a virtue. The thing is, do you agree with me on this? And then we can know it. Yeah, the Chiefs, let's say they make the conference championship game. That is the threshold to where last year does let you get choked on this. You know what I mean? It's just, okay, so they're right back where they're 4 and been every other year in Holmes' career, which is the worst. They beat 7 straight conference championship games. If they get there and lose to Lamar or Drake or Josh or whoever, even if it changes who the favorite is the following year, I think even if you win one playoff game, still. But still, then that would be like, yeah, because then you lose to Josh Allen, because they had never lost early in the AFC playoffs, so that might look right as, they're a good team, but not still the team to beat. But I think if they get back to the Chiefs host the Buccaneers in 32 games. Fun fact, 9 of the last 10 Super Bowls have featured either the Chiefs or the Patriots. Coming at number 8 on the offensive scoring for any reason. But because they're a little low. Classic Super Bowl. The last 2 Super Bowl games, followed up their campaign losing records. Now here's the last 8 years of it's bad. Right, Chiefs and 49ers were 6 and 11. Eagles were like the 6th when they were in the Super Bowl. Bengals were right back there in the championship games. The Chiefs, 49ers missed the playoffs because the Patriots didn't win the Super Bowl. They shocked. They were shocked that the Patriots missed the playoffs. I would not be shocked. I don't yet know if it's worth picking. And I mean that sincerely, not just in for correction tweet like I thought. But for a list of reasons, one is the Super Bowl hangover thing. We can just look at the last 30 years as far as teams that lose the Super Bowl. Almost half missed the playoffs. 13 of the 30 Super Bowl losers missed the playoffs. You are more likely to miss the playoffs historically than you are to win a playoff game. But again, this conversation is not about going and done. It's about missing 17 and 13. You make them 17. Yeah, right. More 17 of the 30 have made the playoffs. 19 of the 30 have failed to win a playoff game because they missed or they would want to come in the playoffs. I do think if you throw through the Patriots schedule, this, which I consider to be a mid-tier difficulty of schedule, is 6th hardest for what it's worth. Yeah, I know. So I have my own kind of like eyeball test on what I think the schedules are based on how good I think the team is going to be. Chiefs as a moderately easy, right? And so I don't think you guys have like an impossible schedule, but it's nothing like it was last year. But here's the biggest reason why I think it's certainly will be showing. If the first month of the season just goes according to how the other players have, I'm not saying they start 1 and 3. And I think 1 and 3 start when I expect them to be quite good and a relatively deep AFC, that can just easily turn into a 9 and 8 season where you miss out on the playoffs. I think again, could I see that left column being 3 and 3? And then could I see that middle column being 2 and 3? Absolutely. And then almost, you know what I mean? You're 5 and 6 going into that right column. And could I see you losing to Buffalo, Kansas City, and Denver? And now you have 9 losses. And that's not, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just a scenario. Yeah. So, and even if you split with Buffalo, so you won 8 losses, and you were, barely on the outside looking in, I
I'm going to toss this up to you, and you're either going to dunk it or be like, that's Missouri. The Patriots have opened up their balance, and it's a nice way for you see if we try to get his lockers next week. AJ Brown, always done a good sign. That means that I think it's smart because they can talk. They can talk, and AJ, if he's got some issues, he can share with Drake privately. He doesn't have to be public with the league. But he's constantly sharing issues. He's a young quarterback. You know, AJ wants to coach. They might win. But if he doesn't have his 7 catches for 111 yards, that's what I need for the scandal. I am on the scandal. That rocking the world. Okay, let's just say that was the bigger piece of that scandal from the Patriots' perspective was Vrabel in front of the podium lying to everyone. That was we're not in the bed scandal. Please, we have it. It was a scandal. I think there was probably national media people that but that's fine. But go ahead. All right, go ahead.
The people who never stop asking are the ones who find the answers. Questions are everything.
His English perfect so that he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, okay, the reason it blows up is there's too much of a digital footprint now. But you think these grandmas weren't throwing it back? Are you kidding me? What's up, guys? Welcome to my reaction series. Today we're going to react to women admitting out loud with the red pill. A lot of women will come out and shame the red pill. They'll say, oh, you guys are just misogynistic red pill guys, blah, 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 blah. And to them, I say, well, we got it. They got it from us. So a lot of times, you know, they'll say we're just making stuff up. And then there's videos of women admitting to what the red pill says. So here we go. Here's a woman saying she has more fun with the men that she likes to date casually than her.
Listen, I told JJ McCarthy, one way's not. One way is very. Just, when you see Jared Goff twice a year, when you see Baker Mayfield, again, you look at the Vikings schedule, and it's chock of teams that, at the end of the day, are being quarterbacked by people up in this Jordan Love. Gotta wait 3 years. Obviously, Caleb came straight out of the box. Tampa with Baker Mayfield. Miami with none other than Malik Willis finally getting his shot a few years. And Tyler Shough was, I know, he didn't take long for him to get his shot. His rookie season, but just take a look at how in colleges he bounced around. Because he was injured, there were changes. He basically had a proven career already in terms of that. Again, JJ McCarthy had just 2 years in Michigan won a national championship. Then they're going to see Indianapolis in week 7. There's Daniel Jones, the aforementioned. Jared Goff in week 8. Brock Purdy in week 11.
got so down on himself as a high schooler, he had to do that to help him mentally remind himself life's going to be just fine. So it's no surprise that he took this approach when he met with the meeting yesterday and talking about how he took the news that he's not the starting quarterback in Minnesota for 2026 season.
Decision was made that was out of my control, and obviously every competitor wants to play. I'm moving forward. It's just about continuing to work hard and just staying ready for my obviously disappointed. I'm a competitor, but at the end of the day, it's like on to the next practice, the next week, the same way as I did going into it, and focusing on the Giants this week.
It's tough. By showing that he's taking this in stride and staying ready because they know at some point it's entirely possible the understudy's going to have to get out there and it's going to be the bright lights. And he knows that too. And I understand everything he does gets thrown back in his lap. And him basically saying this is a decision out of his control. It's going to get thrown back because he can control it. You know, he can control it if the same way running at Notre Dame sitting going into the season is leave no doubt. And if he lets no doubt with his play, Kyler Murray would maybe be on another team with looking like the Atlanta instead of two. You know, and if Kyler Murray played any better, he might, be the handpicked chosen starter of White Buffalo. There's reasons why everybody is where they are. But is he referring to it being out of his control? The fact that Kyler showed up and he's that inexpensive. There's a thumb on the scale for him. That's for another day. Does he think his career is moving further? His future's not working out with this? You think you have a future with this? I'm sorry.
Like I said before, this is war zone. And I love every single person in this building. I love this team. So I want to continue to just do whatever I can for this team. It's potential. Keep the family.
Like what?
Somewhere else, reason it does start.
But it's August 13th. There's the right. It's August 13th. Could you imagine if he demanded trade? How we would be talking about that? He would be talking about someone else would be talking about it. If he's like, I'm out, you didn't choose me, I'm gone. Could you imagine the way that would be handled by the media, let alone internally, maybe one could? Because it wasn't obvious. You pointed it out just yesterday. He's not like he's not on some Floridian type starter, some Eli Manning type starter. He's not quite on it, my friends. He should play out. Some of these other teams should be calling this. And now that's different. You know, Minnesota should be saying so I'm saying the same, Chris. How many backups play? You need to have a lot of backups. So Carson Wentz right there. That's probably a better quarterback. Who? Did you say the words Carson and Wentz? Really? Sure, me doing that? Really? Guy was MVP of the league for 16 weeks. Look, what's it? You tell me he's freaking out long ago. So I'm sick and tired of the J.J. McCarthy slander. The Wolverines coming For example, people at age 28, 29 that are not playing in better spots, but are better quarterbacks than they were. I wish he came out of the box and look at like Kart that played like he did in Ann Arbor. But it just didn't happen. It didn't work out. You think it would be better off for the Vikings just to send a 23-year-old away? And a 23-year-old should want to stay with Kevin O'Connell. 49ers literally did the exact same thing with the Tribbles. Gave an opportunity, wasn't good, and they cut me. You got to draft me back now. I'll continue on with this thread around that. Keep one at it. They could be on Lance Edger. He was obvious pretty perfect. I think you're going to see him. Kyler. The guy already has a pedigree of success on NFL. So you can being a high level player, you're ready to just basically say, we could have won the job in camp before any preseason game was played. So they already told you what they think of it. Already compared to the right? And now it's year 3, and this kid still isn't ready to be your number 1 quarterback. Don't get a 3rd-round pick for this guy from Pittsburgh or any of these other teams that have older quarterbacks near the end of the line. By the way, he's going to get out there in preseason. I understand what you're saying. Oh, yeah. Well, I never thought what you basically say. Reps. Get it. Numbers. Practice is right now. I got it. But at the end of the day, Minnesota Vikings 2026 season just got that because of long and asked the question when we got an answer. Even though I think we did the answer. Because he's that inexpensive. And nobody.
Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and because it's just launched on Nintendo Switch Online, we're reviewing for you today Super Mario Sunshine on the Nintendo GameCube. This review was originally written in 2010 by the lovely Brad Long and has been adapted for video by me. Stick around until the end for some specific NSO comments, as well as just a more modern opinion of Mario. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. Mario made his 3D platform debut on the N64 way back in 1996, and one of the greatest and most influential pieces of gaming ever. Fast forward that time machine of yours 6 years, and you'll find Nintendo's attempt to beat the near unbeatable in Mario's next 3D adventure, but in order to top its predecessor, a hefty risk was involved. Nintendo certainly played the risky card with Super Mario Sunshine. Once again, they pulled it off. Instead of getting rid of the fact that Mario and company are taking a plane to the sunny shores of Volcano, a dolphin-shaped island that were in the GameCube hardware's company, which made inhabitants of lucky ambientus. Once they land about the place isn't so sunny, and there's a keeping like goop everywhere. It's moving. After finding Flood, to use their full name, Flash Liquidizer Ultra Dowsing Device, also shooting jetpack created by EGAD, creator of the Poltergeist 3000 from Luigi's Mansion. Mario is still cleaning up the goop on the airstrip, and to report the perfectly nice plumber for this wonderful deed, he is thrown into prison overnight, blamed for the spread of pollution, in order to clean up the entire island. But the story is, let's be honest, far from the greatest ever told, and with Mario games they really are. The cutscenes in the Sunshine make the story seem an awful lot worse than it is. The voice work just, well, for one thing, is wild enough to make itself heard over the background music, and even so, the voice acting itself is Kanto is just as beautiful a place as the Castle Royals, with plenty to see and do. Gameplay-wise, the majority of Mario's moves through Mario 64 make it a welcome return and operate smoother than ever. Except there's no long jump, and I can't forgive it though. The gameplay is also where Nintendo took that aforementioned big risk, and that is the introduction of the also aforementioned flood. Mario takes his watery jetpack with him wherever he goes, using it to float through the air over large gaps, rocket himself up into the air, and propel himself forward at tremendous speed. Overall, it's a risk that paid off, and while some are probable that it plays differently to Mario 64 because of this edition, it's huge amounts of fun to play around with flood and explore all the control possibilities, especially using the GameCube's original analog triggers to precisely adjust the flow. Yoshi comes on board this time around as well, and aside from floating in the air, he can also shoot shoes from his mouth after eating certain fruits. Standard, eating different coloured fruits alters the colour of Yoshi's juice, and I'm going to regret saying that out loud, turning enemies into blocks of varying properties. Unfortunately, Yoshi doesn't have a great deal to the gameplay, and seems to only be there because people demanded him, and rightly so, though he is a welcome addition nonetheless, and seems to fit right to home on Delfino. Another aspect is the fact that you're just about always surrounded by water in most levels, and having to ride something that effervesces like a barocca every time it touches the stuff tends to get frustrating. The trouble with a location like Isle Delfino is that everything looks pretty much the same. No matter where you go on the island, you're still going to feel like you're in a resort with very little variety. You can go to a hotel on a beach, or to a theme park on a beach, or to a village by a lake, etc., etc. It is, of course, understandable to have that need for water in a game like this, but it's somewhat restrictive when it comes to biomes, save for Corona Mountain's volcano, which we won't talk about. Some nice diversions are thrown to mix them, such as the secret caves located in many of the worlds, inside which you lose flood and become completely reliant on classic platforming ability. These levels really feel like a stepping stone to what would eventually become the full-blown classic Super Mario Galaxy. Sunshine's audio is a little bit of a mixed bag as well. Soundtrack-wise, Koji Kondo and Shinobu Tanaka astound as you'll find yourself playing just about all the tunes you'll find in the game. It includes retro Mario, tribal sounds, sound rhythms, and so much more besides. The classic Mario theme makes it welcome a good return, and it's the old sim brand new again. On the other end of the audio spectrum, you'll end up dreading to talk to locals, as they sound distinctly like tweezers from the Simpsons. Luckily enough, you don't really have to talk to them all that much, and it's all more fun to just jump on their heads over and over again. Though it's not exactly the Mario game everyone was thinking of when it came out, much like The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker wasn't as expected, it's still a classic Mario title that is definitely worth having in your collection if you're a fan of the old platforming games in general. It's a shame that there couldn't have been more variety and theming of levels, but there's a great deal of fun to be had regardless, and anything else that could set it back is really a deal breaker. Super Mario Sunshine is a title that undeservedly gets overlooked when Mario Galaxy is described as the true sequel to Mario 64, but Sunshine still shines brightly. Super Mario Sunshine, you're getting a 9 out of 10 from us. Now that's the formal stuff out of the way, it's time for me to talk about it. So, and a more modern take on Super Mario Sunshine, coming from someone who absolutely loved it growing up like myself. Obviously, I played it again, film footage for this, and I couldn't believe how underdeveloped some of the elements were. Like, the movement is like 50% smooth, responsive, reliable, and 50% feels completely unfinished. Some of the quote-unquote secret courses where you don't have flood and all that sort of thing, they just feel like they were almost maybe initially designed with flood, and then they sort of like crammed it closer together to make it work without flood. And frankly, I think the whole game kind of relies a little bit too much on the hover muzzle, and as a result, you just end up dying. Dying time and time again to, well, I can't say on this channel, but let's just say it's nonsense. Geometry is kind of weird and appropriate defined. You can get caught on the edges of things. When things are moving, you might run into the edge and then it just throws you off for no reason. It can be a bit of a mess at times, and I was surprised how messy it was going back to it. is absolutely superb. I've always really loved Galaxy, but playing this again gave me a new appreciation for just how refined the movement is. It's like a little bit, but there is still plenty to enjoy about Sunshine and particularly in Minnesota, because if you've got it, the expansion pack obviously, then it's free. A lot of the shines that you collect are really inventive and sometimes take a little bit of quite logical thinking. You have to sort of think a little bit more than you would have done for something like Super Mario 64 Beyond the Ball 2 starting that. Things like the Wiggle and Rampage, I suppose, boss in a way, charging around, and you have to work out what to do, and obviously it comes down to these little sprouts that are in the sand, and they bounce up and throws them off balance and all this sort of thing. It's nothing like revolutionary, certainly.
No child support, no visitation, and nothing. Probably that's trying to take the edge off of whatever's going on in this part. Okay. Especially if he picks up some other woman who's got some semblance of being put together and then wants to suddenly get her hands on your money somehow, or somehow thinks he can, right? Like, it may not even be him, it may be another person he meets down the road. And so that's component one. I'll clear that out. Like, this is my kid and my kiddo. The second piece of it is, yes, you can go hire an attorney, but the question is for what? Right? Because you can't get 20% or half of nothing. Right? And so it's you backing up to that, like, pay off everything and borrow some more money? It's not just about how much you're paying, it's about having a plan what you've got. So start budgeting with every dollar for free today. Here's what I want you to think through. If they come out and they say, yeah, it's correct, and we have to dig up your entire yard from the street to your foundation and completely redo this whole thing, it's old cast iron, it's old, it's rotted through its irons, it's useless. There could be, we can drill a hole in it and pump it, completely pump it out for $600, and that'll get you 2 months or 3 months. And then we'll come out here and pump it again, that'll get you 3 more months. And so the temptation is, and I totally get it too, both George and I we both get it, is I want to just do all this right now, I need to get it all fixed right this second, whatever. But I want you to remember, generally in these kind of situations, unless your house is falling over, there's step 1, the perfect option, there's step 2, there's step 3, there's step 4. And so what do I have to do to live along while I'm still gathering and saving money so I can do this whole thing right? So it's basically what gets us by versus what gets it completely fixed. Yeah, so there's not really have to take a sure. I don't know what you guys know about it, but as far as there's going to be multiple stages. If 2 guys come and give you the same issue, they both stake in, they're both looking out for a year, or your pipe all the way to the street is screwed up. I'm going to want to call the city and see if they have any investment in this thing too, as part of this line theirs. I'm also going to then, because then you start phase 2, which is, all right, how much is it going to cost for you to fix it? How much is it going to cost for you to fix it? I'm going to call 4 other companies out here to see what they would charge. And I'm going to do my due diligence to see how I can get this thing not the cheapest, but how I can get them with the most reputable company done the right way for the best parts. Okay. Is there someone you guys haven't gotten temporarily? I would definitely do that. I'd call the city too and have the city sewage inspector come out and look at it and see, because it may be back all the way down the middle of your street for half a block. And I would also contact your homeowner's insurance. Have you done that? No, I don't have a warranty, but they will cover it. So I didn't think that under warranty. So if you get a new home, then you just pop up with the warranty cover that. Companies, they don't cover anything like switch plumbing. They like offer up what you think it is. Choose your homeowner. Go find every piece of documentation for that warranty. Go pull up your declarations for your homeowner's insurance. Upload it to AI and see if there's a way that this can be covered, because your insurance company might say, no, they don't cover that. You might find that you feel it and go, no, they're going to cover it now. And they might then cover your displacement and go rent a home somewhere while it gets fixed. And so I want you to feel like there's only one option right now.
Come on, for fuck's sake! You gotta be fucking kidding me!
As much as I can. It's a part-time job. And if you think of a part-time job that you might earn $10,000, you'd probably take that part-time job. This is the same thing. You may save yourself $10,000. What did that first plumber quote you to dig up the whole line from your house to the street? The line is under like 6 feet of dirt, and it's in the crawl space under my basement, my home in my basement. He said it would be We're talking about the next big PlayStation 5 game. Just Wolverine fight inside these previews, let's take a look at their gameplay because I feel like this is the least excited I've ever been for an Insomniac game, but I'm still going to play it and I'm still going to be open minded. But so far, from what I've seen, it's a bit odd. I hope you're having a great day. If you could like, if this video can like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, I do want to start with that. I am very much a Wolverine fan. I love Wolverine comic books, but Wolverine has always been a very strange character because in a lot of ways he exists in very different forms depending on if you read the comics. He's very teeny tiny, a short, tiny, long man who just gets in a crazy mouth. Wolverine is very important to like major storylines in the comics, and he's just not even in the movies. The movie version of the movies, the Hugh Jackman version, very different, much taller, much more savage, much more bold. This version feels like they're trying to reinvent him again. They're trying to put him in a universe that does have mutants, that does have some of the famous characters like right here, Mr. Sinister. I love these Mr. This is Omega Red, what do we call Mr. Sinister? Omega Red, obviously Mystique. So we have a lot of these mutants. We just don't have them in an X-Men universe. We have them in a universe where, assumedly, they have said officially this does take place in the Spider-Man universe. It's just mutants and Spider-Man. And I just think that's such an odd take. My takeaways of Marvel's Wolverine is the first few episodes of Brutal Combat, no X-Men, and Jean Grey is very different. This, to me, is one of the very odd things. Jean Grey obviously becomes the Phoenix. She's one of the most powerful psychics ever in the universe of very powerful psychics, but it's more than just telekinesis and being able to like read the futures of it. And Jean Grey is a universal force. And part of her like whole appeal in the comics and a lot of her storylines is that love triangle. Hey, I'm in love with Scott Summers, which is Cyclops, and also Logan. This like interesting conflict of okay, who am I despite being the Phoenix? Who am I despite being this like person who's a professor at the school of Charles Xavier? And it's weird to just try and make her instead more of just Jean Grey, the psychic character, and take away all of the baggage. I really don't understand that choice. But we go on here. I played Insomniac Wolverine. Here are my impressions. Hashtag ad. Combat is incredibly fluid and there's great combo variety. Okay, that's a big plus. Amazing detail, especially on Wolverine when he's damaged. You can straight up see his skeleton in points, which they did show in some of the trailers. I love that. Fresh take on Logan's journey while also setting up some insane comic storylines. Traversal parkour in open spaces has lots of options for movements. Really fun chase sequences using this. This stuff here, this is the two things that honestly are the biggest worries for me, I guess I'll say, which is that it's not that we can't reinvent Logan. It's not that we can't redo this stuff, but it's that like Professor Xavier specifically is very crucial to the Wolverine storylines. The recovering of his memories is like a huge part of everything about it. Trying to make this weird, flavorless, separate, revamped version of Logan, who is already 200 years old. I think there's a slide here I had where it gets that Logan is already pretty much an in-depth and like character. It's weird to try and sort of reinvent him now, especially in the existing Spider-Man universe. Like with Spider-Man, I've never mentioned this. There's also in the Spider-Man games, you see Avenger Tower. You see Avenger Tower. So how is there like Avengers, but not X-Men? It's very odd. Wolverine snapping ninja with the arrow he just shot is so freaking cool. Look at this. So a lot of people talk about this combo system feeling much more advanced. Spider-Man has one combat. Visually, Spider-Man's got some combat, but the thing is that it's not advanced. Combat Spider-Man is basically punching, shooting webs, doing stunts, grabbing people until eventually you can do your life taking it. This looks like it's actual combat, actual freaking nuts. That does look really great. We have a much longer clip of that in a bit, but I want to take a look at this here. Here's your first look at a Sentinel boss fight in Wolverine. Again, this is another weird part. The Sentinels were made to kill the X-Men. In the comics, that's purely why they exist, is they need to make something that is strong enough to fight an entire army of the world's strongest mutants. Okay, let's make something in Spider-Man 2, tons of extra dialogue by Tony Todd before he passed. Venom, obviously all the Carnage storylines. I do hope we see some sort of teasers towards Spider-Man 3 inside of Wolverine. I know that's like not fair to ask, but I do think it would be. So today we're talking about Locale Live, and basically the script of the week. So this week's script is Keemstar is selling or looking for a buyer of the LCU and Locale Live. Do I believe that Keemstar is trying to sell Locale Live? I don't think so. I mean, with the state of the LCU and where it's at, how much money they're bringing in and their viewership and looking at their subscriber count and all their numbers, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was thinking about selling it or looking for a way to get out of it. But do I think he's actually going to sell it? No. And the main thing is what, like, Locale Live is weird because these aren't really a business. These are just YouTube channels, right? Now, they all sell merch, right? So I don't know if that qualifies them as a business. I don't think so. I know they sell trading cards too. Maybe they're merchandising cards and it's fine with the YouTube channel or with a Discord membership. Qualifies it as a business? I don't think so. I think they're just YouTube channels with side hustles. So I don't even think Keemstar could sell it. Like he's trying to sell it, you know what I mean? And then we'll say it, I mean, of course, because he does like a fake gradual thing. Of course it's fake, or it could be real. I don't even know, guys. Like, the waters are so muddy. Everything's so messy now. I mean, you could say it's fake. Probably is. There's probably bits of it that are real. But I don't know. It's a disaster. This whole thing is a freaking mess. So let me know what you guys think. Is Keemstar selling it? I don't know. Who knows? But the way things are looking, it's not good. Alright, well, I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired. I can't. Every day is a bullshit. Every day is a bullshit. I'm just tired, man. Do your show, alright? I don't care. Okay. Why? Why do you want to take care? Thank you for 18 months. And Brandon, thanks for 5 months. Keep selling the company. Are you still on this, dude? Are you not keep selling the company? Yes. Oh my God. So you think it's your time? Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. I'll explain it to the audience. getting a lot of attention right now. I clocked a documentary with someone else, okay? I don't like that they're an evil piece of shit. But now that's getting all of this attention, and you're feeling overshadowed. I asked him if I go live stream on my channel. I'm the one guy in the network that can't live stream on his channel. Because I'm the one that came in with clout and still signed the contract to be a lawyer. Not a lawyer. Use attention and money. You're not going to act like the hell you do. Shut up! Shut up! Because you're in the LC outside of all of this, and you're getting freaked out, you're getting insecure because something might be bigger than you. The story's not about looking, it's about tears. I'm good. Oh, look at your cameras. I'm being out here. I wish you could turn the cameras off. Cameras on your free firing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a liberty for me to say. It's not a liberty for me to say what's going on in the business side of it. It's none of my business. I'm only here as a favorite team. Ultimately, I came here as a friend. That's why Keemstar is looking to sell around 40 to 45% of the majority stake in the Long Island Universe. He'll still run it. He's not quitting. He's not running away. He's looking to expand. And he wants to buy a house and do a share kind of fish tank style. Keemstar is looking to expand in front of the LCU because he sees that value right now. I'm not screaming. I'm just telling you exactly what happened. This is all my mind. If Keem wants to show up here, I'm going to make somebody say I'm going to ruin it. That's a great idea. That might be the money. So yes, really smart, man. Really smart. Nobody donates this shit show. Everybody's just going to try to go here. Can you, let me go live on my channel, man? You do me a favor. I'll do you a favor. I don't know. Since you want to run your fucking mouth, all right, and talk about contracts and break NDAs and do everything. Could you just click the little link there? I'm selling a t-shirt. I put it in the side chat. Because I can't see side chat, so the fans are going to have to share it. I can't see side chat because you took away my roles. That's all. Look at it, fan shop. And please post that in the local live chat so everyone has the gaming access to the shirts. Keep me rid of these Japanese chips. They're local. Yeah, I get it. You're eating on stream. Okay, am I? Just got one sale. Take a breath real quick. In consideration of the compensation and other valuable considerations described in this agreement, hereby heroically sells, assigns, transfers, conveys, and delivers to Keemstar to the fullest extent permitted by applicable law, all of assigners transferable rights, titles, and interest into the commercial use of assigner's name, professional name, stage name, nickname, image, photograph, portrait, appearance.
Applebee's 2 for $25 is taking your taste buds on a trip. One full-size appetizer like the new bacon.
You're the sellout. You made a bad deal with your text to the nobody told you where you're always sellout.
You sold yourself and you're letting us out.
It's defamatory. It's not defamatory because guess what? You do suck. You know that. You've been nagging on multiple streams. You're like, you'll sit there and you're like, yeah, that's right, guys. My name's Rookie 2988. I suck today. Intar told me I suck, and that's the truth. I've seen it a million times. I'm alright. So, here's how you know that he's selling the business. Listen, he fired Ice Man, who was a known sex pest. He exposed Kayla right away. He fired your mom, who was fucking with everybody's money. He changed all of the logos to be honored and updated. We got it. You notice we have logos. You checked out. Actually, no. He messaged me privately. Direct messaged me. Messaged me privately. And he asked me if I'm doing
Fuck! Fuck!
I know how he reacted. Messaged me privately. Narcissist. If Keem had stayed on the show, I'd be less complaining if he had not built a universe full of 48 other nobodies and focused on live. I wouldn't have a problem because I'd be sitting on $1 million.
Shut and lock in. You're doing a show.
Thank you so much. Chud is racist. I agree. I'm not being racist. Trust me, I know. If you want me to start being racist, maybe you'll know the difference. You'll know the difference in my house. I said there's nothing there about owning my house, or at least in that section. I'm not putting.
Noodles, you want to get up?